Good evening, chat. Hello, Leighton Ricada. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you know what? You're wrong. Womp, womp, womp. You could join President Zelensky with that kind of attitude. Here you are. Hi, Bubba. And that's right, chat. Welcome to the Thursday night show. I am Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I am an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and tonight we've got a lot to talk about. And we got starting to show off is the Clyde sighting. Some of you are like, is he alive? He's 100% alive. And tonight, Chad, if you join us, we have Clyde. I have pictures of Clyde's Gotcha Day that are going to be exclusively over on Locals tonight, guys. And that's at potentiallycriminal.locals.com. You can join us. And over there, promo code WHIPIT gives you 1 month free access to all the live shows, including the Monday night show and tonight's after party that we do every Thursday. You get to see it all, so join us. You can become member free, but you don't get into the shows. If you want to support me, it's $3 a month. Pay for 10 months, you get 2 months free. Or use the promo code WHIPIT. So, and you'll get to see Clyde. You'll get to see our bubber boy. Aww. Well, just look at him. He's so cute. And you think he looks cute now? He was so pathetic before. He's like, thank you, fat man, for scratching my ear. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That felt good. Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. We are live tonight on, let's already talked about Locals. We are live tonight on Twitter. We are live tonight on Rumble and here on YouTube, last but not least. Hope you guys are doing well. We got a lot to talk about, Had a fun time earlier tonight with Bob over on Defense Diaries. Hope you guys joined us over there. It was a great time. If you play this, what the fuck is that? This is a dog. He goes woof. And every once in a while he'll go ow. We'll go woo. He did it once already for you guys on camera. You got to catch it. Well, buddy, I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna sit you on the ground. Or are you gonna hang out for a minute? Okay. So, anyways, chat, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Hope you guys are having a great night. We're at episode 156 of this show, of this thing we've got. Luke says it's funny how you went to Bob. We didn't even talk about Delphi. We didn't have. I think we kind of ran short on time, but that'll probably come up again. We'll have time there. We're definitely gonna link back up. There you go, Bubber. Oh, so Luby She says it was fun. Yes. Sweet Tooth Fairy says, do not disparage Clyde. He could take it. He needs it. It's all about the foam, Sean. Yes. Let me see here. What are you guys all talking about? Catching up. Clyde is a Muppet. Yeah, at times he looks like a Muppet. But when we first got him and he was like sheared clean, he looked very, very pathetic. So it's a nice change. Is that good, Bubba? Is that good? Yeah. So let's see here. What else we got guys talking about tonight? Does Drex respond to Clyde's text? Did we embarrass me? No, you did not. Popcorn Parts is my queen. Amouranth would never fake it. Well, I got some news for you guys. It looks a little sus to me. What we know now, it's like, yeah, it just ain't adding up. Chat. Just ain't adding up. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. Great to see you on Bob's YouTube. Yeah, well, Bob is great. Enjoyed it. So definitely want to do that again. When's 2.0's and Laney's Girl Power channel starting? Probably never. Probably never here. Get the cats on here. I'll send you an Ohio body cam about cats. It's sad. But the defendant literally name drops Mustache Man. Well, I mean, is it really that bad and sad if Mustache Man is referenced? Because, how can you really have a bad time when you're talking about that? The crime is as real as her OnlyFans. Yes, chat, remember. her job and the way she made her millions was bilking young men out of money, faking relationships, and lying about being married. And then she lied about her domestic violence arc. So just saying. But we'll get to that. James saying, I feel bad for Aaron since Nick locked him in the basement. It forced him to watch One Tree Hill. Well, that's I'm sure it's been rough. All right, Clyde, I got to sit you down, buddy, because it's time to get rolling here, okay? So you guys should go bye to Clyde. You guys will see him later. But we got to get working on stuff. So why is mentioning Tom Selleck such a no-no on YouTube? I know. You got to be careful which mustache man you're talking about. Hi, buddy. He's like, fat man, you put me down. And I'm like, I know I did. So we got mail call this week, chat. We got some mail. I got this thing here. Came in the mail. Nobody sent a tag with it. I have not opened it yet. So we're going to... Came in a bigger envelope. So I got to see what this is. God damn. This is like... There we go. Okay. All right. So what is this? No notes. Guys, if you don't send notes, I can't say thank you. So... Let's see. Okay. Somebody proposing to me. Look at arranged marriage. Ooh, okay. It's like a Trump, it's like a Trump lapel pin or something. Very nice. Let's see, what do they call it on here? What do the Indians or Chinese call it? Oh, a Trump head 1 inch by 1 inch pin, gold color. New item. All right. Well, there we go. Whoever got this, thank you. I'll have to figure out a time to wear it. Got to save it for the right event with the Emperor of Mankind. It's very cool. Very nicely done. I don't know if you guys could see it, but maybe. Wow. I don't know if it's pretty big for a tie pin. I don't think it's a tie tack. Wear it to court. I got to be careful which judges I'd wear this in front of. Oh, buddy. I got to be careful where I wear this. Like downtown Cleveland, that ain't happening. Other places, maybe I could do that. Yeah, it's a lapel pin. This is not a tie tack. This is too huge. Like if an elephant was wearing a tie, it'd have a tie tack this big. But no, it's a nice little setup. And oh, I didn't see this. It's got the presidential seal in there. Very nice. I take it good since you got to pick your side. Okay, I do, but my clients don't need their sides picked for them by me. So you have to think about your clients at the end of the day. So that's why you got to be careful about that. And then from J-Rock, because I was opening boxes and I thought this was a box for 2.0. And I'm like, whatever is in here is super light. And I open it up. I'm like, okay, well, this is probably for me. From J-Rock is, surprise the model, but it's the Jagdpanzer, the elephant. If you guys don't know what this is a Tiger chassis. This is a chassis. They put a large cannon on it, and it's a heavy tank destroyer. So that's its job, is long-range engagement of tanks with a big old cannon on it, or Kanonen, as they would say. And let me see. What is the other information on this bad boy? It's got yeah. The model does not feature the Zimmermitt. Oh, that sucks. So the Zimmermitt is all that stuff you can see on their chat that's all like wavy lined. That's an anti-magnetic coating, so limpet mines cannot be attached. Apparently that's not in here or part of the model, and you'd have to make it yourself. We might try that. But now we can add to the pile of shame. The pile of shame has another thing. Is it made in Japan? Yes. It's a Tamiya. It's made in Japan. J-A-Pan. So you can't add it. Yes, I can add it. Sean has iron cross under his arm fold. Thanks. Yes, the incredible Mr. Limpet Mine. Oh, Kathy says, how do you work all day and do this at night? Well, I mean, like, I've kind of hung out a lot. There's some nights where I'm kind of like hanging out during the day, but it's, you pace yourself and you try to balance it out. And yeah, it's a task some days. Some days it's really fucking brutal, but today wasn't too bad. And also I didn't really have time, and I'm kind of like, I feel comfortable today, but there's other days where I'm like, I want to get out of this and in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. So it just depends on the day. But I appreciate it, Kathy. I hope you're doing well. And guys, remember, Kathy, you're a realtor in Jersey. Remember, New Jersey, not the British Channel Island of Jersey. There's probably not too many houses to sell there. Also, she'd be paying in pounds, not dollars. But anyways, guys, if you need a realtor in New Jersey, get a hold of Kathy. Or maybe Old Jersey, too. I mean, because of the New Jersey, that applies in Old Jersey. Okay, chat. All right, well, it's time to get going here. And we're going to start off covering the Trump SCOTUS updates. We covered this last night. There's actually a big update, chat, that's very important here. And we're going to start it off, though, with kind of things that aren't exactly what we were hoping for, but I think there's an answer here in things that we're looking at. So the first thing we're going to get to, also over Joe Schmo, over in Rumble, saying, hello from the Rumble side. Have you seen any clips of Nick on Cody's birthday stream? I turned it up as soon as he showed up. Guys, no. I mean, it's kind of played out. There's not a whole lot going on there. I mean, if he does something really stupid or he gets in trouble again, yeah, sure, there's something to cover, but not really a whole lot to it at this point. The guy hitting the skids. I mean, film at guy crawled into a bottle and snorted everything away. Film at 11. So, yeah, it's like there's so much more interesting stuff out there right now. So this is the Department of State, guys, versus the AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition. And you might be like, well, isn't that kind of sus? There isn't an AIDS vaccine, but why do they call themselves that? Anyways, this is suing for like $2 billion in funding, if you guys were not aware. And the way it worked is on February 13th, there was a TRO, a temporary restraining order, enjoining the government from pausing the disbursements of foreign development assistance funds. On February 25th, the district court ordered the government to issue payments for a portion of the paused disbursements, those owed for work already completed before the issuance of the TRO by 11:59 on February 26th. Now, the thing was with this one, they were saying, like, anything at all that's been submitted, you have to pay right now. And the government's like, well, don't we get to check it? He said, no. Anything that's been submitted, you pay automatically. So at that point, the Chief Justice, John Roberts, entered an administrative stay shortly before the deadline, and this was referred to the court to take a look at. Now, what happened? Well, they took a lot of things here, and they said, ultimately, given the deadline has passed, and they say, and in light of the ongoing preliminary injunction proceedings, this is a big thing here. The district court should clarify what obligations the court must fulfill to ensure compliance. So this is their way of hinting to the lower courts. You should really make sure what's going on here because we see some problems with what you're doing. And they said in the meantime, though, the order by the Chief Justice hereby vacated. So this automatically goes back. So yes, if you were on the Trump train wanting this to turn out well, it didn't. We lost. In response to that, though, there was a scathing dissent by Justice Alito, Justice Thomas, Justice Gorsuch, and Justice Kavanaugh. So already, Chad, if this had came by for certiorari, there's 4 votes. They'll get cert. Ultimately, what do they basically hint at? They hint that they would nuke this thing off the face of the earth. And the idea is at this point, there is probably this is going to come back and get challenged on jurisdictional grounds, and it's going to get nuked. So that's the good news. For right now, though, they're letting it play out. So that's the update there. We already went through all the other pages of this. It's a scathing dissent by Alito. I think it's pretty good. But the bigger thing yesterday that happened is in the Hampton Dellinger case. And if you guys don't remember who Hampton Dellinger is, we cover this. He is the guy who was hired as special counsel and appointed by Joe Biden, confirmed by the Senate. Remember, chat, the special counsel is in charge of protecting government employees, including military members, especially like whistleblowers when they do whistleblower things. And his job is to make sure that those laws are followed. And he's put in a position where he's supposed to, according to law, not be able to be removed except for cause. And this is this is the first case that went up to the Supreme Court about 2 weeks ago. So the big update is, though, they initially got a restraining order after Trump fired him, where the judge said, no, you're back on the case, you're back in your job. This was appealed up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, we're not getting involved. And it went all the way back down to the trial court, the district court, the federal court. And the federal judge said, well, I'm making this a permanent injunction. You get to keep your job. Immediately, President Trump and his team appealed up to the District Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. Remember, D.C. has its own circuit court. And this was done March 5th, so yesterday. And it's Hampton Dellinger versus Scott Bessent as his role as Treasury Secretary. And this was by the three judges here, Henderson, Millett, and Walker. And they talk about all the issues here as far as the amicus briefs. We're not really worried about that, but they made an initial order as this case got appealed up to them. And they're going to talk about these amicus are allowed to do their briefs, which is great. But this part here isn't really relevant. You don't really have to worry about that part. The next order, though, it's further ordered. The emergency motion for a stay pending appeal be granted, and the district court's March 1st order be stayed pending further orders of the court, except to the extent that that order vacates the TRO entered by the district court on February 12, 2025. This order gives effect to the removal of the appellee from his position as special counsel of the U.S. Office of Special Counsel. So the entire thing they were fighting, the D.C. Circuit has said, yeah, that's bullshit. He's fucking fired. Now, isn't it funny? Because when Trump initially appealed this, the D.C. Circuit said, well, we can't do anything about it. And now that it's there as a permanent injunction, like, well, fuck it, he's fired. So Hampton Dellinger is gone. He's been fired, chat. That's the positive news right now. So he's gone. He's done. He's done. And they said that the government has satisfied the stringent requirements for a stay pending appeal. They do talk about the briefing schedule here. The appellant's brief is due by March 21st, the government's. Hampton Dellinger is due by April 4th, and then the government gets a reply by April 11th. And there has been no argument date set. And this is per curiam, meaning a unanimous decision. And they all agree. With that said, there's been an update, chat. And if you followed on my Twitter, you probably saw it. There's a statement by Hampton Dellinger. Huh. And guess what he says, chat? Guess what this motherfucker does? This fucking rat. Look at this shit. I'm ending my legal battle, so my time as special counsel and the head of the U.S. Office of Special Counsel is now over. That's right, chat. Going through all of this, he got BTFO'd right off the bat on appeal, and he's like, yeah, fuck it, I quit. Wow, it's like this is all a scam, huh? Remember what I said. They are the judicial crisis. Hampton Dellinger was the coup. He was the coup. This was all orchestrated to cause problems. And he did it. And he accomplished his task, and now he bows out. This was never about anything other than fucking with the president. This was never about anything other than hamstringing and hobbling the Trump administration. What a motherfucker. He says, my fight to stay on the job was not for me, but rather the ideal that OSC should be as Congress intended. An independent watchdog and a safe, trustworthy place for whistleblowers to report wrongdoing and be protected from retaliation. I will now look to make a difference as an attorney, a North Carolinian, and an American in other ways. Yes. By making sure you don't get Humphrey's executor blown out of the water and that the Supreme Court said that your removal was lawful. You're quitting because you're a bitch. And because this is what you were paid to do. You were paid to cause the problem. What a pussy. What a big old floppy pussy. He says, I'm stopping my fight because yesterday circuit court judges reviewing the trial court decision in my favor granted the government's request I be removed from office while the case continues. The ruling means the OSC will be run by someone totally beholden to the president for the months that would pass before I could get a final decision from SCOTUS. SCOTUS was going to nuke your boots off, brother. You were not going to get any love. You think Alito, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Thomas were going to show you love? You wouldn't get that love. You probably get a 6-3, maybe even a 7-2 decision against you. Suffer, Hampton Dellinger. Suffer. Anyways, I think the circuit court judges erred badly because of their willingness to sign off on my ouster, even if presented as a possible temporary, immediately erases the independence of Congress provided for my position. A vital protection has been unlawfully accepted for nearly 50 years. Yeah, but a lot of presidents have not liked it. Until now, and given the circuit court's adverse ruling, I think my odds of ultimately paying for the court are long. Yes, you're chickening out. Meanwhile, the harm to the agency and those who rely on it caused by a special counsel was not independent, could be immediate, grievous, and I fear uncorrectable. Well, if it's so bad and you're quitting, that means you're an even bigger piece of shit. If you thought it was so bad and you quit, what does that make you? That makes you a fucking coward. It makes you a fucking coward. If it was that bad, you should be there fighting. I disagree with the court's decision, but I accept and will abide by it. Well, no, you don't want to get BTFO'd any worse. That's what Americans do. Well, no, Americans don't file bullshit lawsuits and then run away. That's what Americans do. Americans don't abuse the court system. I am proud of what OSC accomplished while I was with the agency, particularly what we did to support government whistleblowers and military veterans. Yes, and then you undermined Article 2 of the Constitution. Too bad you weren't JDAM, sir. Where was DevGru executing an order on you? Green light. I am grateful to my OSC colleagues. I know firsthand how hard you work, how talented you are, and how devastating it is that the agency's independence destroyed. I am grateful to my legal team and all supporting my lawsuit, particularly advocates of whistleblowers and government accountability. Well, are you really? Because if they're advocates for all this, you left them in the lurch. Unless they're all okay with this because it was all a scam and you guys were all in on it together. And I'm just saying. He says that above all, I am grateful to federal employees. This is fucking ridiculous. Yes, you federal government bureaucrats, you are the real heroes. You're the real heroes out there defending America. I'm grateful to federal employees. You deserve better, much better than your recent unfair and unlawful treatment from too many parts of the United States government. Suffer, feds! Suffer! No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Coat, mold, seed, dilate. You know, just run along. Oh. In 2023, when a White House official asked if I was up for heading OSC, I posed one question before saying yes. You know I can't and won't swallow my whistle, right? Well, I'm sure you swallow a lot of things. And he says, my point was that I was going to follow and enforce the rules like an honest referee would, even if some might perceive it as against the interests of certain individuals, including the president. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're a real company man, helping Hunter cover up all the fucking drug dealing and human trafficking. I'm sure you're a real top G. To the Biden administration's credit, no one ever interfered with my work. Never. Which means it happened. Even when some disagree with it, I'm sure it happened. Today would have marked my 1-year anniversary as head of the Office of Special Counsel. Oh, no. You're on your anniversary. You take the knee. You take the knee on your anniversary, brother. What a coward. What a coward. For the rest of my life, I will regret that I could not make it to the milestone. I tried. Well, you're giving up the fight here, homie. You're tapping out. You're tapping out because you can't do it. Oh. Well, I've given up on continuing to serve as special counsel because you're a bitch. I retain my underlying belief in the rule of law in America. Do you really? Because you engaged in the subversion of Article 2 of the Constitution. Do you really think you were acting under the rule of law? And the promise of our indispensable nation. I trust that as long as we cherish these vital precepts, they will exist. What a fucking turd. What a fucking turd, chat. Another fucking turd going down the bowl. Yeah, I went at the king and missed. If we're lucky in 3 months, nobody will remember his name. Yeah, and here's the thing. I thought we were going to get that. Like, I thought this was the case going all the way. I think I wonder, like, if they're going to just start taking the knee like this, all this lawfare is just going to get flushed down the toilet very quickly. They just, they wanted to obstruct Trump, and I get that, but I'm just surprised at how quick they're giving up. It's like such a bitch-made move. Such a bitch-made move. You wouldn't think they'd do it like this, but this is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they do. I'm just really disappointed. I'm really disappointed in this. You just like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on? He hopefully doesn't escape man's justice. He probably will, though. He probably will, and that's the sad part. That's the sad part. He probably will. All right. Well, chat, on that black pill, we're going to move on from here. Birthright is going to the top. Of course it is. Yeah, they want no precedent at all. I know. They just want to obstruct. But I'm hoping something gets all the way to the top and there's a smackdown. So maybe a shark will eat him on vacation. Maybe. God willing. God willing. Nico's been a member for 16 months. He says, Sandwich Squad, assemble. Jefferson Post says, Meme did a new video on Nick if people want to see it. Yeah, I saw Meme was airing that this morning, kind of going through everything. Stabby, Stabwood, member for 21 months. Thank you so much for your support, man. Says he admitted having 2 ounces of coke, not in evidence. Yeah, I heard that allegation. It's like, well, remember, his brain's fried, so who really knows what's going on? 2 ounces of coke's a lot. That's like another 50 grams. And yes, Jefferson Post is right. Hampton's tapping out to avoid Supreme Court precedent getting set. Yep. That's why he tapped out. He tapped because he's a biatch. A bitch. So just yeah. Anyway, guys, we are going to move on from here. Tim B.D. saying the SCOTUS will not hear a moot case. Yeah, this case is done. Like, he gave up, so it dies. It gave up, so it dies. Now, moving on, chat, we are moving on here to Andrew Tate. If you guys haven't heard about this, Andrew Tate is back in the state of Florida, and the Florida Attorney General has noticed they are going to go after Andrew Tate and investigate him to see if they can prosecute him for any sex offense or any crimes, if from what he's done from his time in Romania. Because remember, chat, there are federal crimes for American citizens if they go commit sex crimes overseas. In particular, these were passed because people were going to Thailand and other places and, raping little kids. You're not allowed to do that. Well, America set up jurisdiction that if you're a U.S. citizen, you engage in that kind of activity, you can be prosecuted for it here back at home. And it does happen. It doesn't happen as much as it used to because for a while it was happening and nobody really was able to, nobody's really able to do anything, but it was an issue of the parties involved were like not aware that it was a law. And they were just like, ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy. Now, what's going on here? Well, what's going on here is the Florida Attorney General has said that they're going to look over this and they're going to investigate him. And Andrew Tate has said he's going to live in Florida despite everything that's going on. And he says, despite the hee-haw, his return is kicked up. He's going to stay here. He says, I'm going to live in America because I've done nothing wrong. I've got an American passport. And he's been going on and on and on about everything. And, there's the allegations of him. This is Andrew Tate, the toppest of the G's. Although, is he really the top? He strikes more of like the bottomest of the G's. And then his brother, Tristan Tate, both have the obnoxious accent. Well, he's got a British accent. I don't know what the hell he's got. It's just really bad. So they are being warned by the Florida government. They are looking into it. And they are seeking search warrants and subpoenas as part of an active investigation against them. And Andrew Tate has dared them to arrest him. Now, he gave an interview to Candace Owens, and probably, I know he's a tard, and yeah, he pretty much is a retard. So here's his interview with Candace Owens. Once again, chat, as an attorney, I will not tell you to do this. This is not a good idea. This is just general advice. But yeah, here we go. This is not how you want to address things on when you're dealing with the government.
Arrest me, perp walk me, put me on the news, tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL in this shit. Fucking come get me, raid my house, take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me, arrest me, let's do this all over again. I've done it before. Come get me.
You really shouldn't say I wipe my phone every night, because I get the idea you're saying I don't have anything anyway, and if you come look, you won't find anything. But how does that look to regular people? That is not the smartest fucking thing in the world. I'm just saying, chat. I'm just saying. It's just a little bit there. Just a little bit there. Not incriminating. It doesn't have to be necessarily truly incriminating, but you just don't fucking set yourself up. Don't set yourself up, chat. Like, that's just basic advice. And we've got here LPR, Tyler Yonke from the Libertarian Podcast Review, the best podcast review of libertarians for libertarians, and the best of all the libertarian podcast reviews out there. Guys, normally on Friday nights. I don't know if he's up this week for anything, but if he is, say hello to him. He'll be out there. Is he cross-eyed? No, he's just retarded. Just don't, wiping your phone every night, that's a lot of work, too. Yes. But as somebody said here, where is it? I just saw it already, and he wipes it with a cloth. Yeah. He's not that smart. Where is it? Somebody just say yes. Just two feds hanging out. Yes. Very true. Two feds hanging out. Totally makes sense there. But yeah, guys, don't do what he's doing. That's a pretty retarded way of governing yourself. I just don't recommend it. It's just not going to end well. I really don't think it will end well. You should just, don't do it that way. Just, yeah. So, like I said, just don't. There are some good memes here, though. It's just Andrew Tate is innocent, bro. He's been framed by the haters who hate his message of manliness, bro. Please stop accusing him of things. He is so virtuous and godlike, bro. All that damning evidence was produced by the Matrix. It's so fake, bro. Please. And then I did like this one too. This is a map of DeSantis, I think, when he ran, but this is a map of DeSantis if they execute Andrew Tate for being a pedophile. It's like how well he win Florida by over 50% mainly. Oh, pretty funny chat. Pretty funny. But yeah, just don't do what he does. Just don't do what he does. So, what happened to Candace? She hangs out with Tate and married a wimp. Yeah. Yeah, Candace Owens has lost her fucking mind. She's been crazy for a while. Now. He should have Hillary bleach it too. Oh yeah. Yes. Diane says he has a burner phone, really? Yeah, I bet he does. If I was in this situation, I had multiple phones too. I'd have multiple phones too. It just makes sense. Just makes sense, chat. All right. Now, going on from there, chat. We have some updates on things that have gone on involving the chairman of World Wrestling Entertainment. Yes, you know him. You know him as the chairman. You also know him as Mr. McMahon. You also know him as Vincent Kennedy McMahon. The chairman. Yes. Famous for crapping in the hair of one of his subordinates as part of a massive sex pest allegations and lawsuit that was filed against him. Yes, that Vince McMahon. And this goes back, chat, to his case that has been pending. We read the lawsuit. We read the complaint filed between him and Janelle. You guys remember that? Yes, Janelle, come here. Let me crap in your hair, or you're fired. It was really a fun time. I remember we did that. We read all the text in Vince McMahon voice where he wants, he would just, yes, Janelle, I want you to get fucked by big black cocks. He really did say this. If you guys don't remember. So Vince McMahon, the former chairman of the WWE and Titan Entertainment, had to step down because basically he's a sex pest. And he sexually harassed the shit out of a lady. Now, she claims it was human trafficking and she was like raped and taken advantage of. Although it's really weird because she's like the first human trafficking victim in history to be like, so will I get the promotion now? And she sued because she didn't get her promotion as part of the lawsuit. You're like, what? So it's kind of going on there as things go. There hasn't been a whole lot to it that's been set yet. In December, Vince and his legal team filed to have the case sent to arbitration, which it sounds like there's pretty much a binding arbitration case out there. It's really funny though. And we'll go back through it at some point. And I'm going to look to make sure there's no new updates. But from there, part of what Vince did is when you are in an organization like that, you have filing requirements. And one of those big requirements is to your shareholders. And there's an organization that's in charge of doing all that stuff. And it's the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. And their filing is very serious. It is very, very serious, chat. Hold on here. Yes. These are all fake allegations from Eric Bischoff as part of the New World Order. Yes, that's it, chat. This is the best. Scott Hall saved this. He wrote this from beyond the grave. So these shareholders have the right to know what's going on. Investors have the right to know what's going on. They have the right to know any of the legal issues surrounding the WWE. They also have the right to know about earnings reports because the WWE makes payments and all those things. That affects their earnings because there's millions of dollars at stake. So what happened? Well, the SEC went after Vince McMahon and he had to settle because of the hush money agreements. Now, we're going to go through what the SEC actually did here in a second because it is interesting. But you have to disclose the payments you made because he used company money for it. And there he is, the chairman. Yes. And chat, I will say we had so much fun with that. And if you guys remember Jeff, Legal Vices, it was a hilarious time with Jeff. We were just rolling. I lost my voice towards the end. But that was probably that's probably some of the most fun I had on a stream ever was that night. It was so, so good. Yes, by shareholders, I mean Vanguard and BlackRock. Okay, well. So anyways, this is explaining what happened here. And the Securities and Exchange Commission said that Vince McMahon will have to pay more than $1.7 million in relationship to the charges. He failed to disclose payment agreements. And here's the big issue. He circumvented WWE's internal accounting controls and caused material misstatements to their financial statements. And that's where it becomes an issue. So Vince McMahon has agreed to pay without settlement, that he'll pay a $400,000 civil penalty and reimburse the WWE for $1.3 million. And here's the big thing, chat. You can't enter into material agreements on behalf of the company and withhold that information from the control functions and auditors. That's how they do this. Now, Vince McMahon entered he did an agreement. He says, the case is... Why is it doing that? He says, the case is closed. Today ends the nearly 3 years of investigation by different governmental agencies. It's like he's looking at Stone Cold is about to beat him. It's like, there's been a great deal of speculation about what exactly the government was investigating, what the outcome would be. As today's resolution shows, much of that speculation was misguided and misleading. I don't really think it was. In the end, there was never anything more to this than minor accounting errors to the tune of $1.3 million with regard to some personal payments that I made several years ago while I was a CEO. I'm thrilled I can put it now behind me. Now, here's the thing, chat. They're still doing a criminal investigation into Vince McMahon regarding a civil case. So, yeah. Well, the actual action from the SEC is here. And this is how these things are handled. You have obligations to your shareholders that have to be met. You can't screw around with them. It's a very serious matter. People have gone to prison for this kind of stuff. But this is an administrative hearing. Notice this looks like a court document, but it's before in the United States of America before the Securities and Exchange Commission. So this is a regulatory agency doing a regulatory action. This is an administrative proceeding. This is not an Article 3 court. This is done by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay? So it's an administrative proceeding, and this is an order instituting cease and desist proceedings pursuant to Section 21 of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, making findings and imposing a cease and desist order. And it says the SEC commission. Remember, chat, the SEC is run by a commission, not by one person, by a commission. They deem it appropriate that cease and desist proceedings are entered against Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And they say in anticipation of these proceedings, a respondent has submitted an offer of settlement. And this is the way you address these things. You start kissing ass, which the commission has determined to accept. They don't have to. They say solely for the purpose of these proceedings and any other proceedings brought on by half of the commission, or to which the commission is party, without admitting or denying the findings herein, is accept to the jurisdiction over him and the subject matter of these proceedings. So he's not admitting fault. He's only acknowledging the SEC has authority to initiate this action. You're like, is this kind of like pleading no contest? Kind of. Except they accept him at his word that he has no wrongdoing. And they say these proceedings which are admitted, and he consents to the order in the cease and desist proceedings as set forth and below. And these findings are from the commission, and they say that these concern violations of federal securities law by Vince McMahon, the founder and controlling shareholder, and former executive of World Wrestling Entertainment. They say from 2018 to 2022, he failed to disclose 2 agreements with individuals, one of whom had accused him of unlawful conduct. One of the individuals was an employee of WWE, the other formerly under contract with WWE. These agreements were negotiated and signed by Vince individually and by McMahon on behalf of WWE. In addition to obligating McMahon to pay the individual certain amounts, the agreements included provisions releasing both Vince and the WWE from liability for claims based on the conduct. And they say, although the WWE was a party, Vince failed to disclose the agreements to the board of directors. And this is where all those issues come in, chat. Reporting requirements are no joke. The legal department accounts financial reporting personnel and the auditor. And this is what you have when a properly run corporation. You have all this stuff going on. Brian saying that's Sable and Playboy. Well, one of them is the Janelle lady, and one of them's yeah. So yeah, there's some skimming too, possibly. Now, they talk about all the things he has to do here. As a result, the accounts and auditors could not evaluate how to account for these transactions, and nobody could evaluate the disclosure implications or risks to the company of the agreements. This is a very big, important thing here, chat. This is why the SEC gets involved, because nobody knows about the disclosure implications or the potential risks to the company. And that's something people have a right to know if they're investors and stockholders. They have obligations under the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. And they say Vince's failure to disclose the agreements caused material misstatements in their annual reports and certain quarterly reports. And because the payments required by the 2019 agreement were not recorded, even though the amounts were paid or to be paid by McMahon, the WWE overstated its net income by approximately 8% for the year and approximately 22% for the fourth quarter of 2018. That's a pretty big fucking deal. Your earnings reports are off. Similarly, because the payments required by the 2022 agreement were not recorded, WWE overstated its 2021 net income and the net income for the fourth quarter of 2021 by 1.7 and 4.9%. It's a lot of percents. And it says, in addition, these agreements should have been disclosed as related party transactions. The subsequent payments were also not reflected in the books and records of the company. Yeah, you can't do that. Like, the people have a right to know. As a result of this conduct, he violated multiple sections of the Securities Act, Section 13B5, and the other rules, 13B2-1, and all these other ones they're under. In addition, he caused the WWE's violations of multiple sections of the Exchange Act. So not only him, but WWE committed violations because he caused them. He also, and here's the problems for Vince, he received incentive-based compensation and realized profits from the sale of WWE common stock during the 12-month period following the filing of financial statements. Vince has not fully reimbursed WWE or its successor an interest for these profits and incentive-based compensation. And therefore, he violated the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. Now, here's the problem. Because WWE could say, look, our numbers are up, that meant the stock price goes up. And he could sell stock. So guess what? He's making money off these statements that he helped cook. So that's why he's in trouble. Now, it talks about the chairman. He's 78. He's a resident of Stamford, Connecticut. Vince founded WWE and serves as executive chairman and CEO until he stepped down in June 2022. In January 2023, he returned as the executive chairman and spearheaded its merger with the Endeavor Group Holdings and Zuffa LLC, the parent company of the Ultimate Fighting, what do they call it, competition? The Ultimate Fighting Championship. Anyways, UFC. So in September 23, becoming the executive chairman of the newly formed entity TKO Holdings Group. And in January 2024, Vince resigned from the group. During the relevant period, Vince was the controlling shareholder, holding approximately 80% of the voting stock as of July of 2022. And that is very true, chat. He was the controlling shareholder. He has a ton of fucking WWE stock. Now we talk about the related entities. WWE is a Delaware corporation. It merged with Endeavor and Zuffa to create TKO Group. And it's a publicly, an SEC publicly registered company with common stock trading on the NYSE under the ticker TKO. And that's the thing. If you're private, like, there are different rules. But he didn't own the whole company. There are shareholders. And it says prior to 2023, WWE had securities registered with the commission pursuant to Section 12. And its common stock traded on the NYSE under WWE. And yes, they did. You could have WWE stock for a long time. Vince, the founder and controlling shareholder, served as the CEO for nearly 40 years until his first resignation in 2022. And it talks about the two agreements. They obligated Vince to pay any amounts owed. He signed the agreements on his own behalf and the WWE's behalf. So, and it says in November 2018, an attorney representing Vince and the WWE, and that becomes a conflict of interest issue there for that attorney, because who is he representing, Vince or the WWE? What if their interests don't match? He shouldn't have been involved in this. There should have been another, it's not a good look. Anyways, Vince's attorney was contacted by the attorney for a former independent contractor, which means a wrestler, who alleged other things, that in 2005, Vince assaulted her and derailed her career after she engaged or refused in sexual relationships with him. From what I understand, chat, that appears to be Sable. You guys remember her? She is the one accused. From what I understand, that is that's the whole thing. From what I can tell. It was China? Oh, it was China, not Sable? No, not her. That'd be impossible because fucking Chris Benoit killed her. Like, so how could she do it? How could she, like, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Well, not Chris Benoit killed her, but she died in 2016. I'm pretty sure it was Sable. Am I wrong, chat? China was engaged to Triple H. Well, yeah, then Steph, yeah. Sable left her husband, got harassed by Vince, reached a settlement, and they married Brock Lesnar. Yeah. That's what I mean. Thank you, Keopathic. I was right. It was Sable. So, yeah, China's been dead for like almost 10 years, man. So, yeah. Yeah, and Benoit killed his wife, yeah. So. No, it's not Tammy Sitch. Tammy Sitch is in prison for killing people. Anyways, we're going to get back to the SEC looking at this, chat. So you guys understand, this is very serious stuff. It's very serious stuff here. Anyways, the individual and Sable's attorney sent Vince a demand letter outlining her allegations, seeking $18 million to resolve the claims. From November to February, in connection with those claims, Vince's attorney billed his firm billed WWE more than $23,000 for approximately 29 hours of work on the matter. God damn, I wish I could do that, chat. I wish I had that kind of billing set up. On February 13th, in 2019, the parties agreed to a confidential settlement agreement whereby Vince agreed to pay Sable $7.5 million over 5 years. And Sable gave up her right to sue Vince and WWE, not disclose it, and not tell anybody about the payment terms. Vince signed on behalf of himself and the WWE. From 2019 to 2022, Vince engaged in a relationship with an employee, Janelle Grant. That's the woman he shit in her hair. He told individual B she should resign. On January 28th, she signed a settlement agreement in which Vince agreed to pay her $3 million over 5 years if she agreed not to disclose anything. And Vince signed as himself and the WWE. He signed his own behalf and for the WWE. Vince paid her $1 million, then stiffed her on the rest, like a true G. He failed to disclose the settlement agreements to the legal and accounting departments. And these were not accorded anywhere, and no one had knowledge of them. And by not disclosing them, he circumvented the internal accounting records. And as part of the practice of their analyzing things, the legal department reviewed and analyzed contracts between the WWE and other parties. The legal department also sent those contracts to the financial reporting group to determine the accounting treatment regarding their financial processing. And it says, in addition, the WWE had documented an internal control, which had been in practice for many years, that its legal department provide a summary of all potential legal contingencies to the accounting and financial groups. During the relevant period, the summary of legal contingencies was also provided to the board and the auditor on a quarterly basis. They also had a code of business conduct that stated in the section on record keeping, WWE personnel are required to record and report all information accurately and honestly. No undisclosed or unrecorded fund, asset, or liability of the company shall be established for any purposes. No establishing slush funds, chat. You're not allowed to do it. Yeah, Chris Benoit did not kill China. I know. I keep forgetting that he wasn't married to her. The funny thing is, Brock Lesnar was involved with the second woman. So, yeah. So, but yes, for you wrestling fans out there, I've kind of like brain farting right now, so my apologies there. And it says, in addition, each year, WWE required all its officers and directors to complete a questionnaire for directors, nominees for director, and executive officers to collect information in preparing WWE's proxy statements and SEC annual filings. To ensure annual transactions were disclosed, the D&O questionnaire asked if there had been any transaction or arrangement relationship in which the total amount did or exceeded $120,000, to which the company or any subsidiary is a participant, in which you or your immediate family or any of your associates had any direct or indirect material interest. Now, chat, the reason why they ask this all these different ways, there's reporting, there's a code of conduct, the business code, then there are these questionnaires. It's so they can show that they're compliant, and that when Vince does something like this, the WWE can say, look, we tried to do our best and he fucked around. But it's that way they can show it, because eventually they're hoping they can catch these things. And Vince inaccurately answered no, which means he fucking lied on both his 2019 and 2022 questionnaires. Because he did not disclose these payments, the WWE and its auditor were not able to access or advise the disclosures. And in connection with their 2018 Form 10-K, which is for investors, it's disclosures, Vince executed management representation letters to the auditor in connection with the financial statements. And guys, they have auditors on their payroll. That's an actual position. That's a person to make sure everything's being done right. And Vince signed off on all of it. And at the time he signed the management representation letter in 2019, he knew the individual agreement would require him to pay $7.5 million. And Vince knew or was reckless in not knowing that these releases had not been evaluated by the legal and accounting and financial groups. And similarly, it was the same thing. He knew or should have known or was reckless in knowing that these related payments had not been evaluated by WWE's legal, accounting, and financial groups. And nevertheless, he signed these management representation letters. And this is his certifications that there are no unasserted claims, that all deficiencies have been disclosed. Relevant information regarding financial interest and contractual arrangements have been made available. And you're certifying this as part of your obligations as a CEO. There are no transactions that have not been properly recorded. There are no known actual or possible litigation and claims, and that they have not been disclosed and accounted for with the generally accepted accounting principles. And you're seeing this, guys. These are things the SEC is mandate you have to follow. And this was not following general accounting principles. No events have occurred after December 31st, but before February 2019, that would require a consideration as adjustments to the financial statements. No events occurred between December of 2021 and February 2022 to require an adjustment or an amendment to the financial statements. And it says, although Vince was obligated to pay all amounts owed, the payments should have been recognized. The WWE was a party to the agreements, evidenced by Vince signing on behalf of the company. That says, in addition, the WWE benefited from the agreements, receiving releases, avoiding reputational harm. And this is a big thing. The $7.5 million was probable and it's estimable and pertained to the year ended December 31st, 2018. And the $3 million was probable and is estimable and pertained to the year ending December 31st, 2021. Therefore, the $7.5 million he was obligated to pay and the $3 million were WWE expenses that should have been recorded as such. But they weren't. Because these were not recorded, like I said, chat, their net income was overstated by 22%. And its annual net income by approximately 8%. And for the same thing, this was less important in 2021. It went up by 4.9 and 1.7%. Think about that, chat. A quarterly report is off by 22%. They point out all the 10Q forms filled out by the WWE and filed. Also misstated liabilities paid in capital, accumulated deficits in those periods that failed to make related party disclosures. And it says, because the chairman agreed to make the payments, the WWE is also required to disclose the transactions and payments when made as a related party under the general accounting principles. You have to do it. These generally accepted principles relate to transactions, including those that an entity and its owners, management, and members of their immediate families. Prevents people from stealing money and doing things like this. Defrauding shareholders. And because nobody knew about it, the company could not record the agreements and expenses in the financial statements. And it didn't disclose them because Vince hid them. Because they were not recorded, their books and records were inaccurate. And that's a big fucking problem. Big ass problem. So this is where people can get in deep shit. I know, some of you guys are reading this like it doesn't sound bad. I'm like, this is not good. It's not good. And then the settlement agreements come to light. And these, in April 2022, the board held a special meeting to discuss the allegations against Vince. During that meeting, Vince said it's all a lie. And the board investigated. And in June, they announced it was investigating the alleged conduct. In July 2022, Vince quit. In July of 2022, the WWE they filed a report with the SEC saying, "Oh my God, guys! Oh no, we found stuff." And they made a preliminary determination that approximately $14.6 million of unrecorded expenses paid or to be paid by Vince from 2006 to 2022 should have been recorded as expenses in the consolidated financial statements of the quarters those agreements were made. The unrecorded expenses related to settlement agreements with 5 women, all of which released Vince and the WWE from their claims. The WWE concluded the expenses associated with the individual agreement should have been recorded in 2018 and 2021, respectively. So at that point, the WWE had to turn around and file an amended 10K for the year ending December 31st, 2021, and restated its financial statements. And then from there, they had to file another amended 10K in 2023. And they say during the 12-month period following the filings contained financial results, the WWE is required to restate Vince received incentive-based compensation and realized profits from the sale of WWE common stock. And this is where Vince could be in trouble for things. This is where you get in trouble for fucking manipulating company stock, chat. This is where you can get in a lot of trouble here. I was going to say, if you're in chat, show up, man. Yes, did Vince lie to the accountants? He hid it. He's not even lying. He hid it. He moved money around on his own. He basically had a slush fund and did this all on his own. So, this is bad. This is bad. No man said, shouldn't it be the attorneys and accountants reporting this? Yeah, they did. This is when this report being filed with the SEC in July. That's the accountants and the attorneys like, we did an investigation and we're like, uh-oh, fuck, funny story. That guy didn't do his job. So, and that's a problem. Vince signed all this shit. And look at his chat from 2006 to 2022. If you guys out there are accountant people, you're probably puckering up your assholes right now. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. So, remember, like these are not, you know, it's very simple. It's very simple. So you can't do this shit. You can't do it. They said following this internal investigation, WWE required Vince to reimburse the company for $65,000 related to his incentive-based compensation. And that's the thing. He made money off the stock going up because they reported profits. The WWE did not claw back any profits from the stock sales during the periods. They probably wanted to keep it quiet. As a result, Vince violated Section 13B, which prohibits people from knowingly circumventing or knowingly failing to implement a system of internal accounting controls. As a result of the conduct described, Vince violated the Securities and Exchange Act, which prohibits officers directly or indirectly making or causing to be made false or misleading statements to an accountant in connection with an audit of their financial statements or the preparation or filing of any document required to be filed with the commission. As a result, he caused the WWE's violation of the Exchange Act, which requires issuers with a class of securities registered pursuant to Section 12 to make and keep books, records, and accounts, which accurately and fairly reflect their transactions and dispositions of assets. As a result, he violated the act because he indirectly falsified. And he directly did it because he's fucking signed off on everything, chat, with his slush funds. He caused the WWE to violate because they didn't provide accurate quarterly reports. And they have to provide information that's not misleading. And it was. So they had to go back and fix it. As a result above, he violated Section 304 of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which requires CEOs or CFOs to prepare the accounting and reimburse the issuers for any bonus or other incentive-based equity received by that person if there's non-compliance. And he says that any profits realized are to be returned as well. And I say in the order of the foregoing, pursuant to this, they want Vince to cease and desist from committing or causing any violations. Well, that's done. Within 14 days of the entry, pay a civil monetary penalty in the amount of $400,000. And if not timely, they can pursue it. And he can pay it electronically to the commission, and he can wire it. He can make a direct payment from a bank account via pay.gov through the SEC website. He can do a certified check or a bank cashier's check or United States postal money order. Can you imagine Vince going down to the post office? Yes, I need a money order for $400,000. So, made payable to the SEC and hand-delivered or mailed to the SEC. Payments by check or money order must be accompanied by a cover letter identifying Vincent Kennedy McMahon, yes, as a respondent in these proceedings, and file the number of these proceedings. A copy and cover letter of the check and money order must be sent to the New York Regional Office of the SEC. The amount paid shall be treated as penalties paid to the government for all purposes, including tax purposes. To preserve the deterrent effect of the civil penalty, Vince agrees that any related investor action he shall not argue is entitled to, nor shall he be benefited to the offset reduction of any award of compensatory damages by the amount that he's had to pay as a civil penalty. Meaning, if any of the shareholders or investors sue him, he can't say, well, I've already lost $400,000, so whatever I owe, you have to take that off the top. He's refusing that. He's going to be on the hook for that if somebody comes after him. And if the court in any investor-related action grants such a penalty offset, Vince agrees that within 30 days, he shall notify the commission's counsel and pay them out of the penalty offset to the SEC. Meaning, even if he gets that, he then has to turn around and pay that money back to the SEC. So they're going to fucking rake him over the coals. They say such a payment shall not be deemed an additional civil penalty, meaning he's just going to have to fucking forfeit it. And shall not be deemed a change to the amount of civil action. So, and they talks about investor actions meaning a private damages action brought by any one or more investors based on the same facts instituted by the commission in this proceedings. They're going after him. They're going after him, chat. And within 14 days, he has to reimburse the WWE or its successor $1.3 million pursuant to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. And he has to provide proof satisfying this reimbursement. Notice, chat, it's not like, oh, I'm giving you a year to pay it. It's like Tony Soprano. You got 14 days. I want my money. There's no fucking around, chat. But God, the owner's not going to stop, JR. He's going to get to the bottom of this financial malfeasance. Oh, no, here it comes with the ledger. Oh, no, he just hit the chairman. Oh. Oh, there we go. There we go. Vince thinks he's untouchable since the steroid trial win. Yes. Yes. Oh, there we go. Out! Oh. So how does the rest of this get here? So there's just a little bit more in chat. We're going to move on from here. I just thought this was really important. If you guys have never read an SEC action, they are interesting. So it's further ordered that solely for the purposes set forth here in the bankruptcy code, for the purposes of exceptions to discharge. The findings of this order are true and admitted by respondent, and any further debt for disgorgement, prejudgment interest, civil penalty, other amounts due under this order, or any other judgment, order, consent order, decree, or settlement agreement entered in connection with this proceeding is a debt for the violation by respondent of federal securities law or any other regulation or order set forth in Section 523 of the Bankruptcy Code. Meaning he's not able to just go, oh, I'm bankrupt, I can't pay. Nope, can't do that. Solid Ethan Ralph voice, to be honest. Well, I'm just more of trying to... Yeah, never mind. Oh. The WMD should do share buyback from the market with the 1.3 million. And it's not going to... Yeah. It's not going to work like that. But there you go, guys. Vince is... So Vince gets a slap on the wrist. I mean... For right now, this is what they've decided. The SEC is not pursuing charges. But, like, Vince could have been fucked. They could have indicted Vince for this. Vince could have got indicted. This is like, it's not it's Enron type shit. It's not Enron levels of shit, but this is Enron stuff. Sarbanes-Oxley, guys, if you don't remember, Sarbanes-Oxley was passed because of Enron. You remember Enron? They just collapsed in the 2001 time frame there. But this is he must have sucked some dick to not get indicted. So, but yeah, he ripped people off. So, yes. So that's something to think about, chat. He's very fucking lucky. They go after him for things, but here's the thing. He's still on the hook for other stuff. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there, chat. All right, moving on from there, chat. We are moving on to Adnan Syed. And if you guys remember, we've been covering this saga for him for a very, very long time. So Adnan Syed is a guy in Baltimore. He was convicted in 1999 of the murder of his girlfriend, Heyman Lee. And this is Adnan. And as you can see, his sentence got reduced to time served. But the timeline here is going to help you figure out what's going on. So Heyman Lee and Adnan Syed, they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And in 1999, he was accused of killing her, and her body was found in a park in Baltimore. He was 17, and they put him on trial for murder. There was a mistrial in 1999. In 2000, he was found guilty of murder, kidnapping, and false imprisonment. It was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. In 2003, his conviction was confirmed, and then the Supreme Court of Maryland declined to hear the case, which is normal. In 2014, the podcast Serial debuted and started raising doubts about his case. And one of them said that a girl, Asia McClain, said she was with Syed in the library at the time when his girlfriend was killed. It was also learned that Syed's attorney knew about the potential alibi, but did not call Asia McClain to testify. And that attorney was later disbarred because of some competency issues. They also talk about from 2015 to 2019, there was a lot of back and forth, and a trial court granted him a new trial in 2016. After a series of appeals, the Maryland Court of Appeals denied the trial and reinstated the conviction. In March of later, the Supreme Court denied to review the decision by Maryland's top court. In March of 2022, there was new DNA testing because of genetic profiling. And then in September, the prosecutors filed a motion to vacate. They filed a motion to vacate. And they said it uncovered involvement of 2 alternative suspects. The motion also admits the case is ruled largely in circumstantial evidence. That said, chat, you don't have to like the circumstantial evidence, but that's enough to sustain a conviction. So that alone is not probably proper grounds to have something reinvestigated. But they also say they lack confidence in the integrity of the conviction. And in 2022, a judge vacated the conviction. They said there were DNA test results that led the prosecutors to want to drop the charges in 2022. In March, the Maryland appellate courts reinstated his conviction, stating that Heyman Lee's family did not have the opportunity to be properly heard at the hearing to vacate his sentence. Now, chat, you're saying, well, what do you mean? Literally, his family showed up and said, we have a right to be heard. And they weren't heard properly. So it's victims' rights nonsense, which you have some rights as a victim, but the idea you're going to overturn shit because you didn't get your say, like, yeah, that's a bit much. It's victims' rights run amok. A year to the day when it was vacated, he held a news conference wanting people to do this, and he says, I'm innocent, Oz didn't do it. Well, who knows? Anyways, the Maryland Supreme Court scrutinized the hearing, and they said that because they weren't allowed to participate, it had to get sent back. So they sent it back. And then in August this past year, they held a hearing. And the court decided that they were going to take care of this and they were going to vacate it. While the Supreme Court upheld the reinstatement of the conviction for a new hearing, it made no changes to his release. So it went back up. And the Maryland Supreme Court said, well, you're still guilty of murder, but we're not sending you back to prison. In February 2025, a new state's attorney took over, and he withdrew the motion to vacate because he says apparently there wasn't as bad as we thought. And on the eve of that, and we covered this a couple weeks ago, on the next day, a judge heard hours of testimony last week regarding the state's Juvenile Restoration Act. And the way this works, and we talked about this last week with the Menendez brothers, and he pointed out not every state does this, but Maryland does it along with California. If you were sentenced as a juvenile to a life sentence, you are allowed to have your sentence reassessed because we don't want to put kids in jail forever. Although he's 17 at the time. So depending on the state, he could have been an adult. Like Michigan, he would have been an adult. In other states, he could have been an adult. So what happened from here? Well, the court issued its ruling today. And this is, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to kind of breeze through it because there's, you know, some Maryland state law thing I'm not really too worried about here with you guys. But we are going to take a look at this. So, State of Maryland versus Adnan Syed in the circuit court for Baltimore City. Baltimore has its own circuit courts. They have its own things. Bodymore Murderland is pretty busy, chat. So, that's why. But notice, this is just a trial court giving his opinion. And they say, pursuant to the Juvenile Restoration Act, on January 12th, the state filed a response recommending the court grant the motion for reducing his sentence. And on February 26th, court held a hearing. And upon this, it grants the motion. Now, they go through the factual history, and we kind of just blew through that all because there's not a whole lot there. The procedural history. We're not really worried about that. We've really gone through all the issues of procedural history, things that happened here. Now, we're just going to skip ahead here. The JRA allows an adult who was convicted when he was a minor and who was sentenced before October 1st, 2021, who's been in prison for at least 20 years, to move to reduce the duration. They said under the theory, juveniles have diminished capacity and are likely to have been rehabilitated during their incarceration, and thus the public interest is served by their release. So the court has to determine a couple of things to do this. That he's not a danger to the public, and the interest of justice will be better served by a reduced sentence. So the court must consider 11 enumerated factors. 11 factors, chat. There's a lot of factors. So his age at the time, he was 17 years old and 7 months. By virtue of being under the age of 18, is eligible. Even though he had almost reached adulthood, them's the breaks. You know, the court says it's not always mitigating. Because he had almost reached his age of 18, this is against him. The nature of the offense and the history of the individual. The nature of the offense, well, first-degree murder, kidnapping, robbery, and false imprisonment. Those are bad. And it says, although he acknowledges the impact, he, you know, he says he hasn't done it, but this is a very heinous crime, so it weighs against him. His history. He had 2 parents in a loving home. He was a high-achieving student. He had a thriving social life. He was on pre-engineering, and he had been accepted to college already. He had held several part-time jobs. And though there were no reports of academic or behavioral issues, he had no contact with the criminal justice system. So that's a factor in favor. Whether he has substantially complied with the rules of prison. Yet he's been there for 23 years. He's maintained an outstanding record. He had 2 infractions, neither were violent. He's received multiple awards for his achievement of 3 or more years free of infractions. That's the thing you get, basically like a good conduct medal if you guys have been in the military. You know, he's free of infractions from 2009 till his release in 2022. He substantially complied with all relevant rules
knowing he's complied with the rules. He's so compliant that he was recommended for lower security, but it's precluded because of his life sentence. Overall, it's been heavily in favor. And that's the thing, chat. A lot of guys have problems. They get a lot of tickets. They get fights. They get contraband. They got drugs. You know, they're in a gang. They're in the security threat group. You know, that shit that happened in Shot Caller. That's stuff that happens that could fuck you over. And T from Laos, we're going to get to that in a second. Those are bad. Yes. Those are bad. I hope somebody clipped that. So whether he's completed educational programming, he took full advantage of his programs. He completed 35 programs ranging from stress management to a legal assistant paralegal program. He had a 99% GPA. He was later admitted to Georgetown's University BA, Bachelor of Liberal Arts program. He participated in volunteer and fundraising work. He received excellent performance reviews from corrections officers overseeing his work assignments. That's a heavily thing. Like, you know, we want people to show they're doing the right things. He has demonstrated maturity, rehabilitation, and fitness to re-enter society. He's in a unique position because following the September 22 thing, he was on release from incarceration. And they point out that he has succeeded in the 2.5 years since his release. He's been out. Like, this is the one thing that is unique. He's already been out. He's basically had a trial run. If he had fucked this up, the court probably would have said no automatically. But he re-entered society. He's lived at home in his wife's family's house. He says he's been married. He has taken care of his elderly parents and in-laws. And after his father's death, he helped his mom navigate through his dad's affairs. Additionally, he's been active in his mosque. He regularly attends services and volunteers. And he counsels members supporting formerly incarcerated individuals. He's maintained stable employment at Georgetown University's Prisons and Justice Initiative, a program he was involved in. On this point, he's been his professors testified he's a trusted and valued employee. His fitness and maturity are there. And in the 2.5 years he's been out, demonstrate the maturity and fitness. He's demonstrated he can live in society. And an honest application of these factors prompt the court to acknowledge the rehabilitation component complicates the court's analysis. As Heyman's family response indicates, the first step on the road to rehabilitation is accepting responsibility. They say because the defendant maintains that his innocence, he arguably does not demonstrate the rehabilitation. And that's true, but he's allowed to maintain his innocence here. And that weighs heavily in favor. Any statement offered by the victims, well, obviously they don't want him out. And Heyman's brother and mother made statements. The family views the innocence claim as a lack of remorse and a failure to take responsibility. And they want to consider negatively. And it says the court can't fathom their anguish. Their suffering has continued over the last 25 years, starting when Hay was missing for almost a month. And her body was found in a shallow grave in Lincoln Park. And then through a mistrial and a retrial. And even after the trial judge sentenced the defendant, the family's endured over 20 years of appeals, post-conviction petitions, vacator hearings, and now the JRA hearing. Each time, you know, it's tearing out old wounds, and it probably is hurting them. And as if the legal wrangling wasn't difficult enough, the overwhelming public interest has been inescapable. His family suffers her murder not only in court, but in the court of public opinion. Us talking about it, if they heard about it, would probably cause them grief. Certainly, and it would make sense. You know, Heyman was the heart of their family with a bright future. This weighs against granting relief. Any report of physical or mental examinations. He was examined 3 times. Though there wasn't a PSI in 2000, he's had 3 examinations in 2016 and 2 in 21. They noted his limited record and perfect work attendance. They said he had adjusted to incarceration and that he remained drug-free throughout his incarceration and had no infractions. You're like, how do they know if he does drugs? They drug test you in prison at times. They can drug test you. And prior to incarceration, he noted that he smoked weed a lot. He doesn't have any known behavioral and mental health issues. So, the report emphasized that his rule-breaking behavior as a juvenile before the murder never amounted to anything serious enough to warrant the juvenile justice system. He hasn't used any drugs and didn't occur any violent incidents. And at the time of the report, he doesn't suffer from any illness or personality disorder. That's in a favor. They talk about his family and community circumstances at the time of the offense. Does he have a history of trauma, abuse, or involvement in the child welfare system? Nope, he had a pretty good life. He had a normal childhood. Well, that's the thing he's never had any physical or sexual abuse or well as trauma. And the court saying, despite all this, he committed these terrible crimes despite these advantages. That weighs against him. It's not listed, but it should say that. On the extent of his role in the offense and whether the extent an adult was involved in the offense. He's the principal actor. Jay Wilds, the only other participant, was far less culpable than the defendant, as he didn't participate in the murder. The defendant was the mastermind and perpetrator of the murder, thus this factor weighs against him. And we're almost there, Chad. It says the diminished capacity. Well, here's the problem. He's almost 18. He did so with a brain that was not fully formed, though. And they say recognizing developments in psychology say that there's fundamental differences between juvenile and adult minds. And they say for men, our brains don't form till we're 25. But that's an issue of you still didn't know, you can't fucking kill people. And you can't bury them in a fucking grave somewhere. You're not allowed to do that, chat. You're not allowed to do that. So. Okay, guys, I'm going to get some of those comments in a second here. This factor weighs heavily in his favor, and any other relevant factors. The court understands that this is a catch-all category where the court can do what it needs to. In any sentencing, a court must consider theories of punishment and deterrence, both general, specific, and rehabilitation. And chat, if you guys ever go to court, you may hear this as the purposes and principles of sentencing. It covers theories of punishment, deterrence, and rehabilitation. Because we want to keep the community safe, deter future conduct, punish the offender, but we also want to help rehabilitate the offender. So the crimes call for significant punishment. He spent more than 23 years in prison. While his punishment is significant, if punishment were the sole consideration, they would have sent him right back to prison. They'd say, fuck it. The theory of deterrence, however, calls for reduction. The court is confident he'll no longer is a danger to public safety. General deterrence requires the public to believe the justice system will hold people accountable for their actions, but it also requires the public to have faith in a system that is even-handed and fair. Ordering a return to prison after a significant period of success in lawful conduct and freedom will not accomplish deterrence. And that's true. Because if you send him back after 2.5 years of following the law, everybody in prison is going to say, fuck it, you put me on parole, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. And it says, finally, while rehabilitation discussed is complicated, the court believes the defendant has proven through his history that he's fit to live in society. And I think that's fair. The court finds that returning to prison would be unproductive and unfair. Therefore, it weighs in granting relief. So the first 10 are evenly split. And as the final factor has persuaded this court to grant relief. So it was 5-5. He didn't clearly win here, chat. He got a dub. But this was close. And all the court must consider and apply the factors, these factors inform the determination whether the individual is not a danger to the public and the interest of justice. And after considering the record, he will be better served by a reduced sentence. Therefore, it's modified. As to count 1, the sentence of the court will be life to the Division of Correction with all but time served suspended. The sentence will be followed by a period of 5 years of supervised probation. As to count 1 kidnapping, it's 30 years consecutive suspended, followed by 5 years of supervised probation. As to count 1 robbery, the sentence of 10 years concurrent will remain unchanged because he's already done that. But he has 30 years consecutive has been suspended. So he's not out of the woods, chat, if he fucks up. Yeah. The court will hold a brief hearing by Zoom for imposition of the sentence at a time convenient to all parties within 2 weeks of the opinion. So that's the thing. He's got like 30 years, chat, on the shelf. 30 years. If he fucks up, he's going away. So, yeah, that's interesting. He's mostly peaceful now. So, there you go. Oh, there you go, chat. Meme Copium says, and how you doing, buddy? Friend of the show, Meme Copium. The drunk dino hunter himself says it's fun to learn that Diddy is partying with SBF in jail. Yes. Yes. And if you're going live tomorrow morning, I will make sure I wake up and hang out with you. We'll have some fun. How about that? It's like 7 a.m. Because normally I wake up like, 7:30 and he's already doing stuff or something like that. You wake up at 7, he's already going, but I'm like, yeah. So I'll try to wake up early tomorrow and we'll do that. We'll hang out. Have some fun. So, chat, we're going to get to some comments here. We're going to take care of these real quick. But first, we've got our sponsors to get to. Chat. And first, we've got the dragonstreasure.com, a haven for tea and anime lovers. Use the promo code CRIMINAL, and you get 10% off your tea, your soap, and your coffee. Not your anime, though. There's nothing you can do about that. You're going to have to go whack it to your hentai and manga some other way, chat. But use the promo code CRIMINAL, and you get 10% off your other sundries. We have MAF Corporation, MAF-arms.com, your premier wind chime supplier in Southern Florida, chat. You guys know them as Fudbusters. You know them and love them. Currently in his battle with Cody Wilson, the chode master himself, and also the guy's predilection for young girls, underage girls, in fact. So fuck Cody Wilson, fuck his copyright infringement, and chat, use the promo code POCCRIM to get 10% off your orders for wind chimes at mafcorporation.com. And let's just check. I gotta see what else they got going on tonight. Do they have anything else? They have deals still, chat. They have deals right now. Spooky Rails in the return. So they've got stuff out here, chat. These are a bunch of parts drops. They are selling their own rails now, chat. They are getting ready to do it. They got G17 and G19 combos. It's actually a pretty good combo. It's basically everything you need down below in a G19 or G17 frame for $49.95. Some good stuff out there. They got sunshine rails everywhere. They got all that good. They just don't have the locking block, but you can get the locking block for pretty cheap there too. So chat, that's at maf-arms.com. Use the promo code POCCRIM for 10% off. And then finally, chat, last but not least, you have Stoney's Bar and Grill. That's right, chat. Stoney's at 158 East Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota, chat. Stoney's is your place to go. Remember, guys, they're still on the winter hours. So tomorrow, Friday, they open at noon. So if you really need to get your drink on, going to have to wait a little bit. But it's Stoney's, chat. It's home of the $2.50 cans every Thursday. Thanks, Biden, for the inflation. And it's Thursday night, chat, so you can get there. They're open till midnight. Right now, it's just after 10 o'clock. Fire up the bike. Get out there and have some fun at Stoney's. Chat, they have not said what they're doing this weekend. for stuff right now, but they will have some entertainment going. I'm a little disappointed in Cheeto. If you're out there, man, you haven't set stuff up so we could take a look and get you people out there. But hey, make it out to Stoney's chat, celebrating 30 years as Minnesota's premier biker bar. All right, so we got a couple of, let's see here. What else we got? Bayou's body pillows at Stoney's, yes. James Hurley says we need to hit the goal for Aaron. Yes, well, I'd rather you hit the goal for me, but please. Michael Stett says if Vince's last name is Biden, he'd have been in the clear. Probably. Jefferson Post says, I'll give you a report as Vince squats on the desk. Aris Legacy's been a member for 11 months, has caught an ag assault with a deadly weapon. You did? Holy shit, man. If you have any questions, let me know. See if I can help you. Let's go. Brandon says, pity chat. Clyde shouldn't starve just because you're a failure. Thanks, Brandon. Schnauzer Patrol for 499 says Clyde rules. Of course he does. Clyde's a goodest boy. And Afton Forward says Clyde. Yes, we had a good Clyde sighting earlier. I don't know if he's going to be back here. Old Line Red says I'm just relieved that Vince can now come to DC and help Linda run the Department of Education. Oh, he can help Elon just go, you're fired. That would actually be pretty cool to get fired by Vince McMahon. Oh. Brandon says the 10Q forms are expressly labeled as not audited. I don't know if that fucks them more or less. It's not as bad, but it's still not good. Ryobi Powered Vibe says, you're a mark, Sean. It's a work. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Joke's on me, I guess. Yeah, Bandit saying Vince is fucked if they prosecute him. Very fucked. Yeah, I don't think they will at this point. Patty says, could Trump pardon Vince McMahon? Yes, he could pardon him for any federal crimes. So, Kid Pack says, holy shit, I remember hearing about Adnan Syed. T from Laos says he's still a felon. Yes, he's still convicted of murder. He just, his sentence is over for right now, except for the 30 years hanging over his head. So he's got 5 years of probation. And then he'll be free and clear of the sentence, but he'll still be a felon. He's still a murderer. Edward says they really take work attendance thing seriously. Guys, this is a big thing. When you are facing a pre-sentence investigation report, all this shit is critical. This is an idea of the court trying to figure out what do we do with people. If you're in prison, if you're following everything, doing everything right, it encourages them to want to release you. If you do all this stuff right in your current life, it encourages the court, maybe I'll give you probation instead. Like, these things really do happen. T. Falau says he didn't open a small firm in Minnesota. Oh. Stabby says, suffer, family, suffer. Edward says, see kids commit murders and you too could get married in prison. Yes. Mavka says he married the cereal lady. Really? I did not know that. Brandon says, so you can make it to the waterfront then. Still doesn't get Baltimore on the world's safest place to live list. Yeah, so that's a Marlowe reference, I think. Marlowe Stansfield. Old Line Ren says, considering it's Maryland, he barely has any 2A rights anyway. Very true. Very true. For now, until the Supreme Court takes care of it. Debbie O gifted 5 subs tonight, chat. 5, chat. She's showing up. Debbie is showing up right there, chat. Are you doing your part? She's doing her part. She's like, I don't want these grays here. They fucking sicketate me. Your grayness sicketates me, to quote the great Louis Farrakhan. Your whiteness sicketates me. She's doing her part to get you out of here. She's like, just run these tools. Run them out. Debbie, thank you for your support and your generosity. We appreciate it. Summonable Trap says, I get a lawyer, Daikimura. Oh, I'm sure he's thrilled that women want those. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. Oh. Been there, done that, says, I think Adnan did it. I think so. It could have easily be. And Chad, I do want to bring up, if you are a new member, we try to do weekly a members only show. We didn't get to have one last night. We will do one over the weekend here. I'll try to give it ahead of time. Really, it's cool. We get to hang out. We can talk about things, watch body cams, funny stuff. It's just stuff we don't normally get to during the show. And you're like, but you ramble a lot anyway. I'm like, I know, but it's solely like you kind of get to direct it and we kind of get to have a lot of fun. It's really neat. It's a very fun time. Rutgers Steve says, don't forget to bring your steam engines to Stoney's for Foamers Night, featuring me. Well, it's better than the Gay Twister Night. I'm just saying. It's better than Naked Twister, chat, let me tell you. But yes, chat, we're going to set up on Stoney's. We're going to use the patio. Chino's going to let me put our train sets out there. And we're going to run all kinds of scale train out there, chat. Just you watch. We're going to be a train for days. Train for days. Did I cover Amouranth yet? No, we're going to hold off on that for a second, chat. We got some more to get through first. We got to knock some stuff out here. So hold on. As much as I want to do that right now, we gotta move on. There's some funny stuff here. Now we're going to move on to Illinois, the great state of Illinois. The great state of Illinois. You may know it as Illinois. So a couple years ago on the 4th of July in Highland Park, Illinois, there was a shooting on the 4th of July parade. And a guy climbed up on a roof and said, I love a parade. Took an AR-15 and just started going, bah, 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 and dropped a shitload of people. His name is Robert Crimo. And he was set to go to trial this week until he pled. So this was an interesting thing that happened. And, him pleading isn't really an issue here. But he pled guilty to 69 counts of murder and attempted murder. He killed 7 people and wounded nearly 50. Now, it's funny because this guy, it's from Chicago. It's Chicago News. And he looks like Jussie Smollett a little bit. And I'm like, wow, that's a little weird there. The police surprised everybody because they thought they were going to trial. So this guy, Crimo shows up and he's like, I'm just pleading out. Everybody was ready for trial except for him. So we're just going to watch a little bit so you guys can kind of see what's going on there.
Our Shaquille Brewster is at the courthouse. Shaq, this was quite the reversal.
That's right, Lester. Robert Crimo III pleading guilty to 69 counts of murder and attempted murder in that courtroom.
And this is, guys, if you haven't seen him before, this is him. He's just a complete tool bag. Now, I thought when he got shot, he had gotten paralyzed, but apparently it's a miracle. He can walk now. He can walk now, chat. Oh. So, Crimo did music videos. Yeah, he was kind of like a white goober rapper. Tim Pool says, whoa, the cool guy of the week. Oh, no, chat. Well, anyway, so he did enter a plea. And he waived his right to trial. So he's basically entering what's called an open plea in Illinois. Basically, he's going away forever. He's getting life without parole. He's never coming home. As they say in prison, he's doing all day and all night out. He's probably going to be in protective housing. So he's going to do all day and all night out back. He ain't ever coming home. Now, the best part about this is, as he did this, they were ready to go. And the trial ended almost as quickly as it began on Monday when he surprised the courtroom. Like, everybody was surprised. And the judge says, did you talk to your attorneys? And he's like, yep. And he has done this, and he kind of surprised everybody. His face tattooed with the numbers 47. Yeah. And then earlier, as this was going on, his mom called out to the bench after one of her son's lawyers announced the plea, and she said, there's a court order on this, and we're going to get to his mom because she wackadoodled really bad. The judge told her to shut the fuck up, and she did. And the prosecutor says this was not a negotiation. This was not a deal. He basically pled to the indictment, which you always have the right to do. You have the right to walk in and plea out to all the charges. They can't stop you from doing that. And we saw, for example, like in Florida for the Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter, he pled out to everything, and they still had the death penalty phase. Illinois doesn't have the death penalty, though. But as the prosecutor said, he made a free decision to plead guilty every single count. And they said he received nothing in exchange for this plea. We were 1,000% ready to go. And the prosecutor said, we learned about it this morning. So a lot of people are there who are relieved. Yes, somebody who was at the parade and escaped unharmed. She's an anti-gun activist. Fuck her. So anyways, jury selection was underway, and there was no sign he was going to plea. That said, his defense attorneys, who were the public defenders, everybody was taking turns questioning the jurors. Like, nobody knew this was going to happen. He presumably over the weekend, he kind of made a decision, like, he decided, like, I'm tapping out. He's like, tap out. He's like, I don't want to do this no more. So before, and they say, though, before the first jury was seated, the prosecutors dismissed 48 counts of aggravated battery with a firearm. Now, what happened at the plea hearing? When he waived his right to a trial, he signed his name as Donald Trump. Oh, my God. Oh no. Now, you can sign your name as whatever you want. He said that's his mark now. Joe Schmo is saying, Cremo's haircut first matched his tattoos. Yeah. Did he ever admit to a motive? I don't think so. And Mofuck says, hail, faggots. Wait, is Ivan coming too? Oh. So anyways, yes, he signed the name Donald Trump when he waived his right to trial. The court documents show. I couldn't find a copy of the document. But he waived his right to a jury. He signed the name Donald Trump on the defendant line, which if they accepted it as a decision, that's it. Now, the best part of this was his mom, and his mom showed up. And chat, I think you guys need to get ready for this. Here you go. This is Keno. This is Keno. Here you go.
Okay, here comes Cremo's dad.
This is his dad, and he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
This might be his own attorney. And here comes mom.
George, are you saying
There's no comment at this moment.
I have a comment.
Would you like to, if you could?
Oh, no. I have a comment. Oh, no. Like, do you really have a comment right now? It's like, it's like, do you really have a comment right now? I guess she does, chat. What does she got to tell us? I'm sure it's going to be impressive. I'm sure it's going to be something we want to hear. Uh-oh. Yes, imagine, chat, this is your mom. What is she going to say? My baby didn't do nothing? I don't know.
Come over here.
19th Judicial Court received notice that this case is being removed to federal court. And again, they received notice this morning. Judge Rossetti received notice that this case is being removed to federal court. And now.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This case is being removed to federal court. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that phrase, that is a common thing sovereign citizens do. Yes. Mom, no! Don't be a sovereign citizen! Oh, no! But yes, Mom's a sovereign citizen. Here we go.
That's why I said something in court. 52 immigrants related to the Sinaloa cartel are receiving.
Oh, no! The cartel's involved? Oh, no! What happened? Donald Trump, save us! The cartels did this, chat. Oh, no.
Related to the Sinaloa cartel are receiving U visas. And this is a government issue. I said you received notice that this.
Yeah, right on. The goddamn cartels are getting visas. Uh-oh. Oh, no, chat.
Case cannot adjudicate, cannot be finalized. You cannot.
What proof do you have?
Well, how about emails? I mean, come on. The notice was sent.
Okay, so if you can still hear me, that was Cremo's mom. Honestly, not a lot of,
Yes, I was.
nothing really clear. Nothing really.
Yeah, I love this reporter. She's like, well, something happened here. I'm not really sure what. You know, these people are normies. This reporter's like, what was that? And now she's got to learn about what the hell all that means. She probably sat there on her phone and started like, oh my God, these are sovereign citizens. Now she's exposed to the cancer of sovereign citizenry. So, oh, this is not good, chat. This is not good at all. Oh, gosh. He should have asked for a Frank's hearing, yes. He should have. Seminole Trap says, is my son being detained? Yes, he's being detained for quite a while. Chat. Yes, he's being detained. Yeah, someone is off their meds. Yeah, maybe. Yes, I can see why the son went to a parade and started just gunning people down. Yes, from a sniper perch. Yes, I too can understand. Fun historical fact, Lee Harvey's mom was almost as bad. Yes, she was. Yes, yes. Imagine that, a white woman who has on SSRIs and probably drinks a lot of wine. Imagine, I'm sure that's probably the pathology there we're thinking about. Oh. Yes, why did she say defund Israel in the middle of it? Oh, if that was my mom, I would have pled guilty too. I know, imagine he's like in the middle of it. It's like, Mom, stop! Shut up! Oh, yes. This is chat once again. This is why you don't say anything. Yes, somewhere Chili de Castro is just beating it raw to this whole thing. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. She refused to enter into joinder with the court. Yes, she did. And she is traveling, yes. Oh, wow. That was so good. That was so good, chat. You know, there you go. There you go. Yes, the Sinaloa cartels are receiving messages from the CIA. To be fair, that probably is happening. I guarantee you the CIA is involved with most of the drug cartels. I mean, like, let's not act like that's a conspiracy. Like, that's a real thing. I mean, really, you can't look me in the eyes and tell me that's not true, chat. Real quick, chat. Fred Rush coming in here and gifted 5 subs himself. He's doing his part, chat. Are you doing your part right now? Are you doing your part to exterminate this gray menace?
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
They're all doing their part, chat. They're doing their part. They're getting down. They're getting down when like they want to take care of these grays. They want to take care of the grays here. I mean, that's how they roll here. That's how they roll. That's how they roll. Jabba Dunn says he should have asked for a Frank's hearing. Yes. And Stabby says this guy was used to strip away millions of people's enumerated rights. Yes. This was a guy who got all the assault weapons bans and all the crazy shit passed in Illinois. So, yes, fuck him and what's going on there. So, yeah, not a surprise at all. There are rumors going around that Delta Force has involvement with the cartels. Oh, I'm sure I mean, where do you think Tom Clancy came up with the idea for clear and present danger? I'm sure he didn't come up with that just out of thin air. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Did the parents get charged in this one? No, because he's an adult. So that is what's going on here. Oh, real quick, EDW Raptor saying, I have a friend who knows a criminal family. The mother apparently was always like this. I'm sure. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Thank you for the super chat. Joe Smo says, I noticed she's wearing broken glasses. Yes, I noticed that too. Yes, no one gave her the corpus delicti. No one did. No one did. But there you go, guys. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful out there. Gotta be careful. You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's crazy. You don't know what's going on. Other things, chat, I wanted to get into some more federal stuff here. The Corporate Transparency Act, chat. We talked about this a couple times where if you're an LLC or a corporate entity, you have to file registration information with the federal government. And at first it was like, you got to do it. Then it was on hold. You still got to do it. But wait, there's another case that's on hold. And oh my God, what do we do? Well, the Treasury Department, under the Emperor of Mankind, he has said, Scott Bessent has decided they are suspending enforcement of it. So as of March 2nd, they will not only will it not enforce any penalties, but it will further not enforce any penalties or fines against U.S. citizens or domestic reporting companies or their beneficial owners after the forthcoming rule changes take effect. They'll be issuing narrowing the scope of the rule to foreign reporting companies only, which makes a lot of sense because otherwise we need to combat money laundering. Why do you care about the Martin Law Office LLC and Martin Media LLC engaged in all this shit? Like any of the companies that do this stuff, and somebody was trying to argue with me, oh, it's companies like Morgan Stanley. They're already registered and they have to report. So this doesn't help anybody. This is all about the government seizing power. And this government's like, no, we don't need it. And yes, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said, like, yeah, we're going to take care of that. So, but yes, if you're worried about the banks or any large financial institutions, chat, they already have tons of reporting requirements, but that is being done. Brimstone says, hi, what up, brother? How you doing? So there you go. So this is good news. This is good news. If you're out there, you don't have to worry about it. So take care, chat. Although, really, they need to kill this off, but this is a good first step. Snake Pliskus has never filled it out and never will. Well, there you go, too. Benjamin Lewis says it's dead, it's over. No, it's just being suspended. So the Corporate Transparency Act right now is still in effect. They're only going to apply it to foreign LLCs and corporations. But they could turn around and tell the next administration, let's say J.D. Vance doesn't win, It could be Kamala or Hillary. Who knows? Maybe it's still her time. They could say, no, actually, all LLCs have to do this. Because remember, they're going to change the rules, their interpretation of it. But that'll probably get challenged. So this isn't going away, hasn't gone away. What the fuck is thumping around outside? No, there aren't feds crawling in my yard. So there you go. Oh. Al Gore isn't 80 years old yet. You know, he's got to be. No, he is. Isn't he? Al Gore's age. Al Gore's 76? God, I thought he was older than that. Damn. Yamal says, oh, don't worry. There won't be elections in 2028. Oh. There you go. Yes. Or Stacey Abrams will become the head. Yes. All right, chat. Well, there we go. So that's some good news. That's not going into effect. Moving on from here. Hold on, chat. I got to see where we're at right now. Okay. All right, real quick chat. We're moving on to another federal thing here. And this is P. Diddy, his case down in the Southern District of New York. A notice was filed today by the DOJ. And we're going to get to who's on this one because it's kind of interesting. So anyways, this is a notice to the judge. And it says the government respectfully submits this letter regarding a superseding indictment returned by the grand jury sitting in this district. It doesn't contain new charged offenses, but includes additional allegations related to the racketeering conspiracy in count 1. Specifically, they contain additional allegations to the means and methods of the enterprise related to forced labor. They say the government has already produced the discovery with the indictment and doesn't expect to affect the deadline. So they just provided more information. And it was signed by acting U.S. attorney, also by Maureen Comey. You're like, wow, is that Jim Comey's daughter? Yes, it is. That same James Comey. So there you go. Now, so Diddy does have a new indictment. Diddy has a new indictment. So this is labeled as a superseding indictment. This is just, they're pointing out like, this is the new indictment. This is the one that takes over. It supersedes what we did before. It's unburdened by what has been before. So a lot of this isn't going to change in the overview. They will go through all of this. They'll talk about that he's manipulated a lot of women to participate in orchestrated sexual performances at the freak-offs. And, you know, yes, if you guys don't know, Diddy's real name is Sean Combs, also known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, and also Love. So they would talk about there's a lot of physical abuse. It was recurrent and widely known, allegedly. He would assault women by kicking, striking, and throwing shit at them, dragging them, because that also includes right there Cassie Ventura, the woman he drugged down the hallway. And they talk about the Los Angeles hotel where he kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. That's Cassie Ventura. So they talk about, and we've gone through this before, his enterprise. So over a time span of 20 years, he turned all of this into his music business as a way for him to fuck a bunch of women and men and sexually abuse them when the freak-offs with his 1,000 bottles of baby oil. So this is a lot of what's already previously happened here, chat. So I'm not going to go back through all of this because it is a lot of what we've seen before. They just flesh out how he did stuff. So, and they talk about the racketeering conspiracy and how he did everything here. And they talk about, you know, his counts was racketeering and RICO, but he has sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion for victim 1. And victim 1, I'm pretty sure, is Cassie Ventura because of the way they talk about her and what happened because they highlight some of it. And we went through the motion to suppress. Like I said, I think Cassie Ventura is victim number 1. Then there's count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution. And chat, that's a violation of the Mann Act. So that's where you kind of like, you're facing a lot of fucking time. So Diddy has been reindicted on new offenses. Not in new offenses, but just more fleshed out stuff that has happened. So just take a look at that. If you guys are, there's not a whole lot there worth going into because we've already looked at it. There's nothing new. But I just wanted you guys to see it in case you see like there's another Diddy indictment. I mean, there is, but it's really not the thing we're looking at here. But it's very important because they are going full tilt at Diddy, and this is just another sign of their case is getting stronger. They're ready to go now. They're ready to go now. And also, chat, we're 2 hours in, so we kind of need to boogie. So that's why we're skipping that for now and not really going any further. Moving on, chat. This is something I know people have asked me about. This is AOC and what she's done hold on, chat here. What she's done in regards to her giving advice to illegals. And I've tried to explain to people she hasn't committed a crime. And I think it's important to actually listen to what she said and what she's done here, because this is an interview with NPR.
You had a recent dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Homan was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I have not, and I intend on reaching out to the Department of Justice to inquire.
Really? What would your question be for the Department of Justice?
Well, there is a member of the Trump administration who is threatening and seeks to open an inquiry. And are you going to do it?
What would you learn? What do you hope to learn from that exchange?
I think it's important to know where this administration stands and if they intend on using political intimidation to silence their critics.
And I think I agree. She has not done anything wrong based on what's out there. And this is a letter she sent out to Pam Bondi, who has been busy fucking around with the Epstein files and the JFK files. So I'm sure she's going to get to this right away instead of working on the Epstein files. And she says, I'm writing to request clarity on whether the DOJ has yielded to political pressure. And she says, over the past 2 weeks, border czar Tom Homan has gone on multiple forums threatening political prosecution against me, citing resources I distributed among my constituents. And he said that he asked the Deputy Attorney General to open an investigation and that she will be in trouble now. And it's like, okay, well, Tom Homan could fuck himself. And ultimately, here's the issues that AOC did. This is her website. You guys have never been there. You have rights. You have a First Amendment right. You have a Second Amendment right. Third Amendment right. Fourth Amendment right. Fifth Amendment right. Guess what? What did she say? You don't have to open the door. You know, you don't have to open the door to fucking cops. You can tell them to leave if they don't have a warrant. Notice, it's all the shit I tell you. Are you here? Do you have a warrant? Fuck off. You could say nothing. You don't have to answer the door. Who are you? Fuck you. I'm not sharing information. You have the right to an attorney. And you don't have to sign anything or hand over documents. That's all shit I tell you too. That's not obstructing justice. That's not breaking the law. That's you following your rights. Remember, even in my song at the end, whatever you do, don't talk to cops. Even when they nab you on an illegal stop. You know, I'm not helping people break the law. You have rights, and I'm telling you your rights. There's nothing wrong with those rights. You know, and this part here, it's like make a plan, be prepared, like have copies of your documents. Yeah, that's a pretty big fucking deal. If like you're worried about, you know, like getting stopped and they think you're here illegally, you should have documents. Yeah, if you think you're having problems, talk to an immigration attorney. Make a family plan and make sure your kids are set up. That's probably a good idea. Memorize an emergency phone number. Not a bad fucking idea either. Think about it, because you know what happens? We watch these body cam videos. What happens when people lose their cell phones? I don't know who to call. So it's an important thing. It's an important thing there. And then, know who your elected officials are. You know, you could sign a privacy waiver, and the DHS has privacy waivers. So, like, yeah, you could have AOC advocate for you. Because if there's no waiver, immigration stuff is private. It's not like normal criminal things that can be disclosed. It's very private. So, yeah, has she done anything wrong? No. No. Yeah, they could fuck right off, but they still have those same rights. So, they can get the fuck out, but nothing she said has been illegal. Hate to tell you, chat, but it is what it is. No papers. Yes. Indiana Jones, no ticket. So, yeah. Yeah, her advice is applicable to everybody. Suffer, chat. Suffer. So, just telling you, suffer. Well, you're here anyway, so you're suffering. All right, chat. We are now on to, and we're probably going to end on this. We're going to end on it. We're going to save the guy getting resentenced. I'm going to cover that probably in a separate stream because it's very interesting. Innocuous Adventures. Looks like a guy we've seen before. Says, do you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I. Yamal says, oh, you just lost a viewer. You could suffer, Sean. Bye. Well, really, if that's a reason, like, here's the deal. If this is something you're going to leave for, I'm sorry you have to leave, but I'm going to say it. So, but if you really are leaving, Yamal, you know, sorry. I hope to meet you later at some point. Hopefully we can be all good, like Robin Hood. But if not, I'm sorry. The no one is legal to sign is bullshit, yes, but there you go. Yamal says, you just lost a viewer. I'm sorry if you have, man. Title 8, United States Code 1325 to 1327. I mean, I'm serious. Like, if you have to leave, that's okay, man. I'm sorry to see it. Yeah, they've already entered. She isn't helping them exacerbate the crime. I mean, that's like saying, like, I tell you, if you commit a crime, don't talk to the cops. Am I aiding and abetting or exacerbating that crime? No. Just don't talk to the cops. You don't have to help the police arrest you. So, I'm sorry to hear it. I'm sorry you're taking off. If you want those super chats back, I can refund you. So. Sucks. It sucks. So. Oh, and by the way, chat, we'll go to this here. I mean, 18 USC 1325. Yeah. Proper entry by an alien. Okay. They're already here. She isn't exacerbating that. Just like if you rob a bank and I tell you don't talk to the fucking police, am I assisting that? No. So, sorry. It sucks. That's what it's going to be, though, guys. I'm sorry. Not going to bullshit you. All right, chat. So moving on to the final thing, Amouranth. I'm not saying Amouranth faked her fucking home invasion, but I'm saying she faked her fucking home invasion. It's very fucking sus. It is really sus, chat. I mean, remember, Amouranth has made her entire career out of bilking money out of people, out of men, and kind of hiding the fact she was married. And then when things weren't looking good for a while. She had like my husband's abusing me arc, which turned out to be bullshit too. Just saying, but I've got a lot of questions. Got a lot of questions here. And this is Amouranth's thing. She says 3 gunmen, 3 men with guns. He screams, okay, I got shot. She says, they beat me before this video and pistol whipped me. The pummeling felt like it would never end and protected my head by putting up my arms. Like I learned how to do in boxing. Blood was streaming down my head where my hands were beat brown. They brought duct tape and mask and were armed with handguns. So here is what Amouranth is claiming happened. Now, here's part of the issue, chat. Here's part of the issue for me. You're going to see Amouranth come running up. And this is where I kind of start to get sus with things. Because this idea, you're like in a... if you're going to like home invade somebody and you're robbing them, notice she's kind of like running up on her own, like, oh, it's over here, it's over here. Why aren't they like grabbing her by the hair and be like, if you scream, I'll kill you. Don't you fucking move. You're following me like right now and I'm going to kill you if you move. Like, that's how that goes. You're not normally given free reign in a fucking robbery. Something is not adding up here. Something isn't adding up. This is fishy as fuck. Watch her. She's going to come running up. This makes no fucking sense.
Oh, right here. It's in here.
Look at that. She's not even under their control. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you'd be like, they'd have a gun in the back of your head. Be like, if you scream, we'll kill you. Or something. But they're just like, oh, ha, 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 ha. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm so sorry. Come on. Go.
Looks totally real, chat. Oh my god, it looks so real, doesn't it? Looks so real. Looks so real, doesn't it? The dogs what does it for me. Well, no, that doesn't mean much because a lot of times dogs are like you talk to like burglars, they're like the dogs are like sometimes just pretty cool. That's not really an issue. The dog doesn't know what's going on. So this doesn't make any sense at all to me. This doesn't make any sense. So it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And there's more here that doesn't make any sense. So she tried to say, I was at gunpoint. They gave me the phone and said, log in with the gun to my head. And I tweeted because calling would be a death sentence. So they're standing there with a gun to your head and they were there to steal her crypto allegedly because she's got like 20 million in crypto. And that's the thing. Amouranth's made a ton of money showing her titties and being a hoe on the internet. So they're like, here, open up your crypto wallet. Okay, boop, 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 boop. And the guy's not going over, oh, you're on Twitter. That's okay. No, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You know, this is what somebody who, like an idiot like her, would think a robbery would look like. But she really didn't want to get hurt. Now, Amouranth is a titty streamer and a Twitch streamer. She made her millions doing that. She did cosplays. She does OnlyFans now. She's made a shitload of money. She's able to roll that money into investments and all that stuff. She's worth like $50 million. So it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, they said I'd point the gun here. It's like it doesn't make any sense at all. It It just doesn't make any sense. I'm calling bullshit. I'm just calling bullshit on this. I just don't buy it, chat. I don't believe it. I done believe it. So, here's where she gets back to, like, this is okay. Well, this is a funny part here. So this came out on OnlyFans. It's like, burglars broke into my house last night, but not still as much of a robbery as these $200 POV back shots for $20. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But here she says, they kept shooting my bedroom door and they finally kicked it in. They were not like they were shooting through some shitty hollow core door. Yeah, I don't buy that. It's a bedroom door. Like, stuff doesn't add up. Like, guys, look, you have, like, stuff is not working here. Like, because I see, like, the door hinge plate and everything here. But then there's this. Like, is she trying to claim there's another? Like, that's not a locking bolt because there's no furniture around it. It doesn't look like it's set up for anything. But they were shooting through the door. I mean, like, it doesn't take, like, you can kick this fucking door open. Look at it. It's a hollow core interior door. Just, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, that bullet hole also makes no sense. Like, if you're gonna breach, you breach, like, right up on the doorknob, like, right where the lock plate's gonna be. Like, there's ways to breach a door. This is, yeah. Yeah, the bullet holes make no sense. So, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. She live tweeted a robbery. Yeah, that too. Then Captain Como says, the next video is 10:51, but a tweet at gunpoint's 10:55. I'm willing to write that off as shit might not be properly timed. I'll spot her that one. I'll spot her that issue. But the rest of this just doesn't fucking add up. The rest of this don't fucking add up to me. This doesn't add up. I mean, that doesn't even look like a bullet hole. That looks like a drill. Look how perfectly round it is. That's not a bullet hole. Mavcus is not even a locking door. If it's an interior bedroom door, it's going to have a lock on the other side, the little knob and the handle. But, like, if you want to get in somewhere, you could snap the handles off and get in a room. Like, this really, yeah, the WWE is more real than this shit. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, it's a drill hole. I think so too. And that's the thing. I've seen. Oh, the Nest server side is on Twitter. Oh no, that's the server side. Oh, okay. Sleazy's saying Ring cameras are NTP. I don't know what that means. If it's connected to the internet, it's NTP, and if it's not, it won't save to watch later. Oh. You know. Yes, lawyers talking bad at math are there. Yes, the wall's approaching, and maybe your viewer count is declining. I'm sure she is. Remember, her entire thing is like fucking lying about, you know, being married and having shit. Oh, network time protocol. Okay, I don't. Do I look like I know? Like, hold on here. Do I look like I know what? Like, really, look at me, chat. Look at me. Do I look like I know what that means? Do I look like I know what that means? No. No. That's why I get paid the big bucks. Yes. She is 31. Yeah. I wouldn't pass her to fake it, but my question is what crime she committed by faking it? Obstructing justice, abusing 911? Like, you're like, right now the police are looking for these fucking guys. They're wasting resources on a home invasion that they believe is real. I'm sure this kind of went out of control and she didn't realize this was going to spiral the way it did. Or she's a fucking idiot and did this. I don't know. Just telling you guys, like, it kind of this fucking reeks to high heaven. The police seem to believe they tweeted from their official account. Well, for right now, they are, but we see these all the time. They're investigating it for real, but I'm sure they're sweating her like, you know, like, oh, well, they shot up the house. Okay, well, you know what? Like, they can afford to repair some bullet holes. But yeah, like, it wouldn't surprise me if this is all a fucking scam. Wouldn't surprise me at all. She needs more pay pigs. So, you look like a dumb nerd is your argument. I mean, what else do you want me to say? I know, I'm just a simple penny lawyer. You got your DNS to sync up to your NTP with all the SNMP because of the DHCP says so. Yeah, but I mean, she could get in a lot of trouble there. She also claims there's blood in her driveway was taken from forensics. So I'm like, okay. Maybe somebody accidentally got shot. I don't know. Maybe it's fake blood. Who knows what it is? Who really knows at this point? Like, it just, none of that screams legitimate to me. No, like, think about it. She's in a robbery. And these guys are like, show us where to go. She starts running away. Like, she starts running around the corner. You know what in real life would happen? They'd be like, pop, 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 and they'd have killed her. They just wouldn't have been like, oh, what's going on? Over here, guys, come over here. Like, no, it never works that way. The aging horror arc seems likely, yes. Yeah. I isn't an IT, I'm a lawyer, yes. I are a lawyer, man. Yes, the police also believe Jesse Smollett, yes. I heard donut operators vouching for her. That doesn't mean shit to me. The things don't fucking add up. I don't care what he's vouching for. The math don't work. Green Cap says the hope, and Rumbles or Local says the hope is on the inside of the door. Look at the striker. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the whole thing in that door doesn't add up there. It's very suspicious. I'm calling it Chad is a scam and she is a whore and I don't like her. Yes. Yes. Let's go with an easy one, Sean. What's an STD? Thanks, Ag. It's the reason STDs are the reason why I quit sleeping with your mom. Sadly, she couldn't keep it closed. She couldn't keep them closed. It's like a truck stop in there. Amouranth also claimed she was single on a New Year's stream, claimed she wasn't married, claimed her husband beat her. She claimed a lot of things. Yeah. When Donut Operator confirmed that I knew was fake, yeah, that's kind of like my point too. Donut here. Amouranth paid me $1 million to push this bullshit. Yeah, 3-on-1, it should have been under control. They kept shooting my door. There's no cuts because the dogs keep moving and they keep running. There's only one gunshot. Yeah, I mean, like, there would have been yeah. It just doesn't work. The husband was a serious one. If at all, she would be dead. And that's the thing. Initially, Amouranth's like, I did the shooting. And everybody's fucking masturbating. Oh my God, Queen. She's like, and I use a staccato. And that's a very fancy high-end 1911. That's a double stack and all that. Very fancy gun. And everybody's like, oh my God, yes, Queen. Using a gun. So sexy. Oh, Bon LeVay. Oh my God, yes. Then it turns out, well, my husband did the shooting. It's like, it's fucking gay. It's fucking gay. Gay, gay, gay. So, the former cop and current cop lover said it was real, yes. And now an ad read from Manscaped. Yes. Bunker branding, chat. She shouted out Staccato as the gunner boyfriend used. Never mind, I fully support her now. Yeah, but instead of Staccato, get the company that uses fucking Glock magazines instead, and they'll fix your shit. I forget what they're called, but it's a far better option. It's probably the one I would buy. Although I'm really not in the market for a fucking high-end 1911 like pistol. I don't know. So Bama Law, how you guys doing? You guys remember he's at Bama at Bama_law. Give him a shout out. Give him a look. He does doing some commentary out there, guys. Give him a look if you have some time. The husband who beat her and put her to work on OnlyFans against her wishes. Yeah, that's all right, Chad. It's the same husband. Yes. HIV once says never say that again, please. Okay. The Platypus 1911. That's the name. Yes. Use the code DONUT for 20% off Amouranth's OnlyFans. Yes. Brad says, I still like my P226. Yes. Oh, Chicago just released CHC with Shakes Lock Mags. Hello, nerd. Okay. I'd buy nods before I'd buy a fucking staccato. So, why would you want a 2011 that takes Glock mags? The grip angle sucks. I've actually, like, it looks like it's pretty good, actually. They should have made it take high power mags or something. Because make it take high power mags. It's like, no, what it really should have taken were like fucking Walther P38 mags. Like, yeah. If she was really baller, she would have had the Lauga alien. Yeah. They weren't robbers. They were just the Sims very upset with the OnlyFans. Yeah, or they were probably like her mod who got friend zoned. If you guys have never seen it, this is how Amouranth has treated her pay pigs previously. Amouranth, like her mod stuff here, it's like, if you guys have never seen this, this is truly sad.
This is my Comic-Con one. A Comic-Con. I'm very surprised that it fit perfectly in the dimension.
This is her at a Comic-Con. I don't know which one it is. Who really knows? Who really fucking cares? Multiple years ago. This is one of the mods for her stuff. This is one of the mods for her channels. Anyways, just watch how this goes. Watch how this goes.
I just like eyeballed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Show banner. Okay.
Ooh, that stinks, Rance. Yeah, that stinks.
I love this guy in the background. Like, that stinks. It's like, brother. And he paid a lot of money and they made him a mod. That's the sad part. Homie had to pay a lot of money. Yeah. Suffer, Janny. Suffer mods. Yeah. So, this is what happens when you try to hug me. I know, if you stand there like this, I'm just going to be like, huh. And I'll just, in the meantime, yeah, amplify the signal saying, am I talking about the stealth arms platypus? There we go. Stealth arms, yeah. Too bad the Mechgar Glock mags currently suck. Yes, because they take out the stop in the fucking Glock that prevents you from over-inserting them. There's a fucking reason why the stop is there. Like, I don't understand the point of having a metal Glock magazine. It's already fucking good the way it is. Let me see here. So, let me see here. Let's try to catch up here. That's Nick's next convention. SCOTUS aren't even drop safe. I mean, a lot of things aren't drop safe. Like, that's tough to do it that way. BobTube says the story is real as her breast. Yes. Garrett says, slow down, Sean. I'm learning how to, I'm taking notes on how to commit a robbery. Jefferson Post says, buy the full hidden body cam on her OnlyFans. Fred Rush says, the bottom fed stripper clip 1911 coming soon from Keltec. Oh my God. Yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah. So, yes. Michelle says, let's not forget Sean thought the Catboy macing and the fat troon. Well, she wasn't a troon. She was just a lib. Was fake too, just in case we can get a win on this one. I'll take Michelle, you're right. I'll take the L. I gotta put it like this, you guys. I'll take the L, chat. I take that L. That L is mine. That's my L. You know, it's my struggle, chat. My struggle. And you know, since it's apparently coming up, YouTube's AI is going to be able to dub automatically in their languages. My struggle. If you know, you know. Oh, buddy. Oh, no. 99999. Why own a 9mm or something called 10mm? Because 10mm not powered properly. Oh. I'm going to start reading speeches. We'll start watercolor painting too. Oh. I should go back to art school, I know. So, why use 10mm when there's 357? Well, that's actually a very good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, why would I just use 357? I mean, I got one of those. So, and Missouri Battle Flag, you're right. Good to see you, man. 357. Oh, 357 SIG is the same. Oh, I think you just meant 357. No, 357 SIG is disgusting. Other than like the Secret Service, I don't think anybody ever seriously used those. At least it's not like 45 Gap, 45 Glock automatic pistol. It was like the New York State Police were like the only people that ever use it. Maddie says you got to do that for a member stream. What do I got to use? Watercoloring? Watercolorings! Water! Right now I'm drinking water, chat. Oh. 357 the cartridge of the gaze, yes. I own a Glock 37. It shoots 45. I get it. You live in like California, don't you? You live in some shitty state. I get why you might want it, but like, other than because it's neat, like, I hope ironically I hope you're owning it ironically. Like, I hope you're not like the best cartridge ever, best performing. It's like, I don't know about that. All that. What did they give the cancer boy? The kid with cancer? That'd have been funny. It's like, here's a pistol, kid. I mean, like, he was in there with like a fake gun, which is, you get to walk around the White House with a fake fucking gun. That's still pretty cool. That'd have been hilarious if they gave him a real fucking heater, though. It's unloaded, but here's a real fucking heater. Not gonna lie, I'd be like, chow. It'd be like RoboCop. I'd be like Murphy in RoboCop, just like the SIG. He's like, cha. So, all right. Yes, we got some things here, chat. We got to finish up. We're ready to go. Cheryl Morin has gifted 10 subs. She found some grades out there, and she just was like, I don't want them here anymore. She found those grades and lined up her sights. I mean, she was going out of control. The guy sitting next to her was like, Cheryl, stop! They're dead! Stop! You don't have to keep shooting. They're gone. And she's just pulverizing those grays in the dust. Cheryl, thank you for the support and your generosity. Oh, Mystery Sniper is saying the Texas Rangers had the 357 SIG. Okay, yeah, I guess. Huh. Thanks to Schwarzenegger, the 50 is banned in California. Yeah, well, you have to use a 416, which is a fucking cool cartridge anyway. So, I got the conversion barrel for my 226 to shoot 357 SIG. It sucks ass. I've heard that too. I'm a big fan of camps. Yes, summer camps. Bass says, nah, I don't do that. But the World War II, 1911 is 2 world wars and twice as many divorces. Yes, but you know what? When you think about it, the Beretta M9 right here, I got it going. You know, the Beretta M9 has 2 Gulf Wars. One war on terror. So, all right, chat. So we are I'm gonna start a clip channel, Sean dubbed in German. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be great because it will dub over and do everything. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. I like bottleneck pistol cartridges. Simple as you know what? As long I think they're neat is an acceptable answer to owning stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. I think they're neat. To sit there and say the 357 SIG is the pinnacle of handgun cartridge development, you probably need to get scanned for freaking tumor in your skull. But no, you can like shit that's cool. I think that's fine. I think it's cool. Like for a little while, like I have a couple like flare guns. I think they're just cool. I've got some like inert ordnance. Like I got like this bad boy. I got the RPG trainer. Why do I have it? So I think it looks cool. It's pretty neat. It's an SK-75. Like I think it looks cool. Collecting like inert ordnance is pretty neat. It's why I own like 2 Russian TM62 landmines. But like this bad boy, like you can like it works and it's like fun. And why? Because it's neat. And there's nothing wrong with neat shit. I'm just not gonna go like this is the coolest, like the best thing ever. Pinnacle of training development. Like, no. And some of you are like, wait, why is that here? And I'm like, where else would I put it? Where else would I put it? So the M9 will never be a 1911. Well, that's a positive thing. It's double stack. So buy a Golden Dome. Yeah, that's a huge pepper grinder. Oh. Oh, let's see here. We know you sleep with it under my pillow. Well, that'd be fun. It's why I own an East German helmet. Yes. The P1445, the original Para Ordnance, the original 1911 double stack. Yes. I've shot one before. Those are fun, but they have a lot of fucking problems. Yes, there are recent videos of anti-tank mines being used as improvised satchel charges. Yep. Browning himself endorsed the high power. Well, he was involved in its like consulting and design. So, all right, chat. So we're gonna wrap up here. Amplified Salem says I have to clean guns for my first match of the year this weekend. Well, good luck, man. Good luck. Don't get a DQ. Remember the 180 rule. Remember the 180 rule. Hail to the Break says can't own any cool guns here, so Bubba SKS is for me. I'm assuming you live in Canada. Because that's like that's the gun of Canada right now, the SKS. All right, chat. So we're all caught up for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This was a fun time. We got it done. It's just we couldn't land the plane right away. I was a little rough. I didn't like it, but we got her done. We got her done. I promise we did. So, and remember, chat. Oh no, we'll tell that later. Anyways, we are. Oh, yep, Kami Stan. It's like I can't get past me. So, chat, we are all done for the night. Thank you all for being here. We are going to be heading over to Locals, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. Remember, promo code WHIPIT. Not like the dog, but like what's in compressed air and whipped cream cans. That thing, the nitrous. Whip it. Get you 1 month free access. We'll get you into the Locals show. Hope to see you there, chat. We're actually got to schedule. Like, we are going to fucking... We got stuff we're doing, chat. We got a lot to work on. I've been working on some stuff. Look, the IL-2's coming along. Look at that blue. I took some artistic license. We're doing some like azure blue out of Vallejo. We're going to make the fucking model look sexy. I mean, this shit pops. I mean, look at this. Look at these. Look at the bottom wings. Like, that's going to look hot. Anyways, we're doing that. We got other stuff coming up, chat. We're going to have fun this weekend. Stick around for the programming. I'll try to get some out there, but we got a lot going down. I got a little bit of work to do I can take care of. We're going to get some shit rolling. So we're going to take care of that. So remember, until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Unless you're Amouranth, you're probably guilty for, abusing 911 and wasting police services. You're Vince McMahon. You're guilty of fucking around with your SEC filings. Don't do that, chat. Do not do that. Don't do it. You're also guilty of shitting Janelle's hair. But hey, that's not illegal. That's not illegal. Just don't do it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the comments. Like and subscribe, chat, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, you guys. Good night, and I will see you over on Locals.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and model.
It's blinking. Huh. It is. I don't know why. I got to figure that out. So I'll figure that out in the meantime, chat.
Models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws. Tips on hunting and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops. Even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. But
whoa, you forgot to get a good suspender snap. Well, I just don't give that away for free. I mean, like, I am not a dancing monkey, sir. Thank you, EDW. After I didn't give you a suspender snap. There. I don't know if I've ever done that before anyway, but there you go.
please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fact